G'day, g'day, g'day. How is everyone today? Double checking a couple things as my last stream's internet did not go so well. So we've got a lot of stuff to do today and most of this is in the description already. But I've got lots to show you, lots to upload, all my designs in Space Engineers, plus whatever you do see, just expect it to be already on the workshop unless I specify otherwise. The designs you see here are not. Let me know if you want me to upload anything you see throughout this whole stream, but I'm just going to read out a few of the things I plan on doing in this live stream. Now, I've got roughly it's about more than 20 ideas. A few of them I want to do at the same time in the same sort of saves, and that's why I've numbered in correlation below in my description. So I've got my large Explorer ship, which I found on my old 2017 PC. I think this is from probably 2018, 2019 of some sort. I started designing the ship I have before, my Rhino Explorer ship, which I've already got on the workshop for you to download and check out already. I shall be uploading those 3 designs that are not on the workshop already, including my space elevator and both infinite tunnelers, so you can actually follow along when I get to it. So I'll do that at the end of this save before I exit and move on to the next one. So make sure you stick around. Lots and lots to do. Now, I've got this save where I want to show you a few of my old designs, and I've got my Mark 1 to Mark 12, all my design phases of my Rhino Explorer ship that is available. Plus, I've got a few of my old drones and old missile designs from my 2017 PC also. Now, I've got a missile designs that if anyone wants me to upload at that time, I am more than happy to do that. I've got the infinite tunneler. I need to upload the infinite space elevator. I need to explain the builds of those 2 designs, plus any other questions you may have along the way. Now, we've also got I want to explain the sorts of mods I'll be starting with in the Dronely series, or season, or survival, whatever we want to call it, for the fact that I want it to be completely vanilla so I can phase into the new AI DLC sorts of things that is coming out eventually. Now, if there's anything that is not working in chat or anything like that, if there's not, I'll start that again. I'm kind of nervous as always. It's my 3rd live stream and I said my last one didn't go so well. Make sure you check out the description. As I was saying, I wanted to phase into when the AI blocks come out without any of the mods breaking and or the save. Now, I can also show you I've started the actual season itself, for the fact that I wanted to test out a few things, including the water mod height and where I wanted to set up my base, etc. So I started it out, altered my respawn pod already, and that's when I started designing the infinite drill and tunneler, because I really didn't want to use the nanobot build and repair or drill and fill mods, because I find them really, really cheaty to like tunnel out something. So I wanted something that I could just place down with a blueprint or projector or whatever it may be and just go from there, no problemo. So I've also been testing out the weapons core for the first time of Space Engineers, and I'm really liking the Northwind weapons. I think it was Kanajashi's streams that was really good, I found, because he had the combination of the ships with the water mod and those turrets and cannons, etc, etc. So I wanted to show you the Sea Whiz. I have some vanilla methods of making the vanilla guns more accurate, so they are actually have better chances to shoot out missiles that are incoming on your grid, etc, from enemies. We've got I've actually transferred my old last episode 17 from season 1 survival that I can just load in, go around and show anyone that may not be familiar. I did a few testings with the contracts block, and you may be going, what do you mean with that, Sharpie? I was testing a lot of things for the fact that when you create your own contract in that contract block, the GPS marker or location actually follows the block around on a mobile grid or ship. So I was trying to test out if I could actually put like a connector or change the block of the contracts block itself into a connector using the SE Tools 2 mod, which I've got another tutorial on. Make sure you go check it out. To actually change that block into a connector to try and get a drone to connect onto a moving grid or so. But no matter which way the connector is pointed, it's not in the right orientation from where the drone may come from, because obviously it's a moving ship. Its axes will definitely not be the exact same every time. Now, I've got a few things I can test that I showed you already in the Automatons beta video I released quite a bit ago, and we can do a few more things on that and test it out, but I'll need to change my game save or my game version just for that, so that it'll just be a quick internet update on that, so that's not too bad. I've got a few test ideas. I want to stack some landing legs as well on top of each other to see if I can make a floating base, or even put a piston or something, make the base itself lock to a static and then delete the piston from underneath it or something. That may work, I'm not too sure. What else we got? I've got my old Factorio save, my old KSP save we can check out, probably not. I can change up my already available Steam Workshop's Fire and Forget planetary missile to have like an extra missile attached to the front of it to launch off when it sees an enemy to try and distract the AI turrets. What else have we got? Oh, yes, perfect. I'll just Alt-Tab out of this, and I'll show you the screenshots I've got of a build idea, or a couple I've got. This is the Zumwalt class destroyer ship. Yes, it's very quite block-like, but at the same time, that may also be good, because if this thing flips over, it may be able to right itself and save it already. Plus, I can have many compartments with the water mod and my missiles. I could probably put some welders in here. At the back of it, if I exit out of here and get the next one, at the back of it, you can actually see quite there. It's got a hangar bay, so I can do whatever I may want, or even put something here without water trying to get in, or I think that'd be really quite cool. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit there for you. Another design I was kind of thinking, and this is from screenshots of Moonfall. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck for this, but it's an actual ship design idea, and that's what I'm using this for. Now, I've got a few of the designs here, and I'm going to click through, but that's the ship just here, and a nice, really good pick I've got here. I think it'd be awesome having an open gaping hole going right through there, and the same on the back of it, to enable like fighter ships to like fly through, have some turrets around the sides of it. You've got a hangar bay where you can build more ships to like fly out. Same thing on the back of it. The top of it is there's another shot of the actual inside ring itself. It's the only one I could really get. There's the other one, and then there's the proper inside hangar with an extra like hangar bay door at the back, which could even be quite useful. What else have we got? Yeah, just the side profile of it with a nice round. I think the actual structure itself looks really cool. Like have this hanging out with like a rotor, not a rotor, a hinge or something, with a bit more extra added protection with the second grid on the outside. But I think that'd be absolutely awesome. Now, I can also make videos or upload stuff upon your requests in chat. So make sure you chuck a message to say you're here, and I'll say hi back, no problemo. I've also got some tutorial, another one I might do on this one or the other Explorer ship I have an idea. Now, all of these ones, I've just changed the front of it, as you've noticed already. I know I've kind of been blabbing on, but I'm sure those of you in the future can skip ahead, read the description while you're skipping ahead, as that's pretty much just what I covered, just a little bit more in detail. Now, as you can see, I wanted to incorporate my cluster missile design, which is completely vanilla, and I originally had... I don't have any power. That's alright. It's actually connected on a rotor to a small grid. If I go and get some power, and I've got my spectator camera over there already. No, apparently I don't. Next one. If I come down here and get my lights on. Back in the day, space engineers did not allow you to do this so well. So I actually had a mod that allowed you to change large grid to small grid. It's actually in this mod list that I'll show you when I get out of it. But now it's more stable. You can just chuck a rotor, small grid right there, right over, get the cluster missiles, and these work perfectly fine. Not only that, but if I come on down here, I'm not too sure why I got rid of this design, as that looks really cool. But we've got another one right here, and another one here. Ain't that sweet? Let me just jump out and finally have some power, which I did charge up, but I've been doing a couple things to make sure things worked. Same sort of design with the rotor to small grid, and all that kind of works quite nicely, which I'll show you right now. Oh, I haven't got a gravity gen on this, so just with button each, there's the cluster build with the welders, and then that's the decoy launch, the nuke launch, and then just the doors itself. So if I do that, there's all the doors kind of closing, there's that, and obviously the same over here. I just open that up again, they'll open back up, so we've got some nice protection there. Let's launch up those decoy missiles. There we go. Completely vanilla. They use thruster damage to actually separate each one of those decoy and nuke blocks. Two different designs, which I'll come up here. No, it's over there. To then destroy quite nicely like that. That's actually a really good, perfectly timed one right there. Yeah, just to distract anything that may happen. And then I'll just launch up the nukes, which is pretty much the exact same design. Coming on down. Get to a certain point. And then they start spinning. Oh, that one didn't quite break up so nicely. This is one of my first early designs from my old 2017 PC before I built this one, which we're on now. But anyways, that's all good and true. This was actually the first design I built before that Rhino Explorer, which is why it ain't quite finished yet, and it is what it is. So I kind of designed out a few more. I was copying another one of the ships I had in mind back in the day, but didn't quite like it. I'll go over here, as this was one of my favorite ones. If I go down here to where it is, here it is. I've actually got a door. So I can just walk in. Got pretty good access to everything over here. Something just exploded, I think. That's fine. Continuing on. I did actually, if you hadn't noticed already, that's actually been damaged from those blocks that came out. The nose and that is all different. And that's because I tried to put it on the side here. As you noticed, I did try it with that mod I was talking about. And I did design these ships on a friend's computer, which he had all the DLCs at the time. I'll go to the next one. Was it the next one or the one behind it? Ah, here we go. It's this one here. That's why these lights are floating. For the fact that the DLC stairs was used and it wasn't loaded because I don't own any. Let me know in the comments below if you want my new Dronely survival season to have the DLCs or not. I'd love to give Space Engineers my money to support them, but I don't know if they have the ability to turn those DLCs off like Space Engineers does through Steam. I think they do. They probably do. I don't know. I haven't checked. But I don't find the DLCs add too much to the game itself, other than like decorative blocks. Like you get a different sort of looking battery. It's not really much really to go on, to be honest. And here's all of that. This is, or it should be when it's all locked up, quite airtight as well. So I don't know if that's a missing glass or not. Oh, it is. No, maybe not. It's not airproof. Lol. There wasn't anything else I needed to cover on that one. I'll just check my notes again. My memory is absolutely terrible, so... already... yes, that's right. I was going to upload the infinite drill as they are, and the tower with the pad with the infinite tower printer itself. So 4 designs, and to sum it up, the infinite drill or the infinite tunneler has 3 designs in one. It's got the actual, I'll show you in it, it's just easier. So I'm going to publish these right here and right now. Ship base, actually no, it's technically a base. Steam mod.io. Wait for these to all upload, so you can go ahead and download them yourself. Persistent. This is all they add. However, I did give them my money and got all of them. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like, just take my money. I love this game. This Space Engineers, Kerbal Space Program, and then Factorio are my top 3 favorite games. I've been playing a bit of Overwatch 2, but I'm an Overwatch 1 player, but it's really quite broken, and I'm really not enjoying it. When this thing actually does figure its thing out, it'd be nice. Oh, there we go, finally. Yes, I do, in case it's hidden. Change visibility, public, yep, that's fine. Get rid of that one, and make sure it's public on this as well. Alright, cool, exit out of that. That's the infinite entire drill, I'm pretty sure. I need to publish this one. Hopefully it's not the same one, otherwise I'm an idiot. Hopefully I was working my way down. So this should be both of those designs of the infinite tunneler. That's alright, Nathan, no problemo. Hopefully you actually have the ability, like you're not at work or busy or anything like that. You can sit down at your PC, load up a brand new save, no mods, no DLCs, no scripts, no nothing, just completely vanilla. Paste the thing in. I'll show you how to paste it in. As the front end of it actually does turn into a static grid when it clips into the voxels with the drills. They're really weird. I'll show you and I'll explain. That is good. That's both of them. I'm just going to go back to this and I'm just going to double check. That one and that one, both of them. So we've got the full walled and floor with the lights and stuff like that. And then we've got the one with just the floor only. So we'll go back, make sure it's on mod.io. That's red, that's fine. That'll figure its thing out. Even if I F5 it, it might figure its thing out eventually. That's alright. And then I needed to do the tower with the pad. So people have the access to the actual elevator itself, as that's not included with the infinite tower builder kind of thing. Wait for this to load up as well. I'm in the US and my workday is over, so this is perfect timing. Yes, I was really trying to plan that. Yes, I know it is midday in Australia, practically. I do apologize for that, but hopefully you're at home or even at work that you can sneak away and test these blueprints out for yourself if you're in chat. Here we go. Oh, big chat. On your space elevator, how did you get by the limit going from the ground to space? I've seen several time lapses where they get to about 20-25 Ks and won't allow building on that grid any longer. Perfect question, and I know exactly what you mean. It's the actual in-game PCU limit. Now, when you go to the settings of your brand new started game that you're starting out in survival, you can ignore the PCU limits, and you can also do that when you're in the game in the admin menu. But the game itself has an inbuilt limit on what you can build per grid. So all you'd have to do to fix that, and what I would do to fix that, because I know exactly who you're talking about, is I would actually get some mag pads and connect to the top of that and continue with a secondary grid, technically, and just lock them together that way. You wouldn't be able to merge lock together, because it wouldn't work. It'd probably break the game, and I've never tried that. I probably wouldn't. That. And I'm pretty sure that is everything. Let me just check. I'm going to have to go to Community tab. I just want to make sure it is all available. Content. No, that's not it. Workshop items, that's the one. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Am I missing one, or is it not there? I swear I just uploaded the tower. No? Swear I did. Infinite tower. Infinite drill. Just making sure I haven't glitched anything out here. Tower pad. That. Yeah, doesn't look like I have. Publish. I swear I did. Base, Steam, what.io. I can't remember what I was talking about, sorry. Yeah, sorry. The internal PCU limit. What I'd actually do to get around it, and what I did to get around it, because I knew we'd run into it eventually, was make the grid smaller. So I made it pretty much a 9-block tower with a conveyor kind of tube going along the side of it that gets a connector and a merge block that gets ground down eventually afterwards, if you haven't seen that kind of time-lapse video already. Oh, okay, yeah, Dave was doing that on his time-lapse. I did see one a year or so ago that they were trying to break it in creative. Yeah, that's exactly why I tried to limit the PCU usage as much as possible, to try and limit that. I haven't tested it going all the way up into space, but I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure it would. All right, there you go, everybody. All 4 of those designs are uploaded, and I'm gonna load up that save in just 1 second, making sure that's all good. All right, cool bananas. Just checking out old Explorer ship. N&M with the symmetrical. Yep, cool. Actually, what I'll do very quickly is I'll go over here, and on the side of this Explorer ship, you see, this is pretty much the design in itself. It's just the welders on the outside with the modded block right here that connects it on. So I could just do like a rotor and then a small grid, because it wasn't as stable back in the day. Yeah, and then that's just the design itself, the colored, and that one there. That is everything. Awesome sauce. No, I don't ever bother saving, for the fact that it all usually kind of screws up with autosave anyway when I'm testing. I do a lot of loads, and I find a lot of bugs with the remote block, or I have, in constantly reloading your save with F5. To the point you need to like close your game down and open it again. It's weird. This is my Rhino Explorer on the way to finishing with the one all the way at the top there. That's available to download as well. Not too much has really changed, to be honest. Obviously, I started this design out with the DLC blocks. Really thin armor with the heavy plated armor right here, to like protect the CIC, the center in control, I call it. Go down, and it's very bare bones. If I flick at the back, you'll see very, very soon that where I am now is where a jump drive pretty much is. And then if I move back a bit, it's like a massive staircase that goes practically vertically right up using the vanilla ramp of Space Engineers. It was a pain in the butt to do, but I eventually did it. And that gravity generator literally has not moved from the very first iteration, which is quite funny. Yeah, it's just the Mark 1. I'll check out each individual grid's name to double check what I did with each of them. So if I come over to here, info is just the Mark 2. This is all heavy armor as well on the front of it, with a decoy block at the front with a welder to keep repairing it, to try and just distract the blocks, or distract the armor, sorry. The distracting blocks, they need to distract the shooting. All my gyros that are protected, and they do take a beating, gyros, because they have so many parts. They take an absolute beating to actually destroy. Same with the actual refineries itself, and I don't suggest leaving these sorts of modules on the outside, for the fact that some of them do take what are they, superconductors. That's the one, which take like silver and platinum and all sorts of stuff, so they're kind of expensive, so don't do that so much. I'll move down the line before I start showing this off, as it's very bare bones and it hasn't really changed a lot, as you'll find out. I really have no idea why I chose this baby poo brown. I really don't. I have no idea. It's a disgusting color, and I actually do like a really quite rainbow looking one down there, which I'll have to spawn on the planet, as notice the sun in space doesn't show it off very well. But yeah, it hasn't really changed too much. I did a bit more kind of decorative kind of blocks, a little bit more. This is the gun ready one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, finished. So each of these guns can weld, as each of these welders can weld one block out symmetrically. So one up, out, and over. So that's up and down and left and right. It will not get the diagonal block, only the left and the up. So the left, up, right, down. So this is perfectly in line of where it is. So if I were to be where this conveyor is, it wouldn't weld as well because it's right next to this. It has to be in front of these little bits, just there. Just a little quick tip. This is when I had I still have it. Same thing, the modded thing and the DLCs with the stairs. So as you see, this is the one where I did have the stairs, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. As you can tell, it has those vertical stairs. Got the CIC with the medical center. In the latest one, I've got everything kind of labeled out, what all the buttons do in the control seat here. Oh, I actually moved that. I never knew I actually moved it. And this is obviously, as you can tell, it's pressurized. You get a really quite simple design. I actually angle out these windows very soon. Oh, I love gravity generators. And this is with the... I've actually got a mod on at the moment. If I go to any door, if I can spell, that'd be awesome. It allows you to change it to automate open and close, and then it puts like a vanilla sensor attached to the door itself. I'll leave it in the description at some point, or rather if I can remember. Oh, hopefully that fixed it. Yeah, I'm literally plugged into my internet. I cannot speed up my internet any way, shape, or form at the moment. It's really silly. I can't... Yeah. Stop that replay buffer, at least. It's not the computer processing, it's the actual Australian internet, it seems. Yeah, it actually stopped for a second and then it came back. So I'll just continue on. Hopefully everything goes smoothly from now on. Otherwise, it'll kick me out and I'll have to do it all over again. But I will unlist this video from YouTube and actually like download it myself to edit it and get rid of the loading stages and anything like this sort of stuff. So I really do apologize for those in the stream already. F8, F7 to bring the spectator camera to your character, and then press F8 again to like get in control of that again. Another tip, F9 also to get in control of your player while in spectator camera, for those of you that want to know. Those blocks at the front of the turrets do not get damaged in any way, shape or form, as the collision doesn't quite work the same way as you think. So there it is right there. It looks absolutely sick. I could even put like one of those vanilla custom turrets on this thing, and this would absolutely shred. Absolutely shred. Alright, going back to my notes. Yes, just continue on showing off this one here. I found that it was getting shot up really quite quickly, and I'm pretty sure I had like a DLC block here on the side, which is why it's quite empty. Don't think I would have done that on purpose. So I put some heavy armor, changed it up a bit, and I really do not like this design. I like that one much more, even though it's more vulnerable. This one just looks tanky and I hate it. Yeah, so nothing much has really changed, as you can tell. Haven't even put the control seat in on this one. I did some more detailing around the outside of it. Still haven't got those jump drives in or changed it from when I had the DLC. This does have a vanilla timer set to trigger itself every like 1 or 2 seconds to close all the doors. So even without my mod, this ship is still vanilla and will still automatically open and close those doors for you. So that's a really good, neat bonus trick I've also got. Owie. Haven't changed too much. I've locked it all off, I'm guessing. Just why I called it the Rhino. And then I went with the more gunmetal grey kind of look, which I'm so glad I did. That's the rainbow ship that I was talking about that I'm going to have to paste on the world. So I'm going to copy that and see when I go on the world after this if I can paste it in and have a look at it properly. Because the colouring on it, you might not see in YouTube's compression of it all, but the colouring on it looks absolutely awesome, I found. And I don't know why I got rid of it, because this looks sick. Just check out the grid's name. I'm pretty sure I just colored it, to be honest. Yeah, before paint and after paint. And then this is the final color design I kind of went with, the black and the green. Not too sure why I chose these two colors. I'm not really too good with my artistic value, as you can probably tell. Another quick, easy printer setup or drone connection. Extra one if you need it. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Easy access, that's why I've got this container, not for it to actually hold anything, just so you can actually get like access to everything in the ship from no matter where it is. So the assembler's over near the CIC down the bottom, and I can still grab stuff from it. Same sort of stuff, the decoy block behind the hard iron, the heavy armor, I'll get it right eventually. So, just going through my notes, as I said, my memory is really quite terrible. Upload missile designs. So yeah, this is that one, and then we've got the final designs all the way over here. I'm not too sure. Oh, that's right, I had to include the nanobot repair mod to see if I could overlay my backup original one I changed before my 4K time-lapse that I uploaded almost a year ago, in the building of this ship vanilla, using like welders and all that sorts of stuff, because I changed the design. If we go down here to enable the docking of this, so you could just fly down on the planet, extend the piston and the hinge to then connect onto your grid to like transfer resources or whatever it may be. Just something easier, so that's why there's two Rhinos. I overlaid the new ship after the 4K with the backup ship before I changed the bottom of this for that. And yeah, that was just about it. I've got show that one, and then yep, cool bananas. Moving along, I will quickly show the mods and what mods I kind of suggest anyone kind of start off with in vanilla, inverted commas, vanilla mods. These are absolutely fantastic. So rich HUD and text HUD. Where's text HUD? Text HUD API is usually rich HUD. Okay, never mind. It's the rich HUD that does that. So the rich HUD is the dependent of the build vision, which I absolutely love. Plus the sensor, 1200 meters, it just changes the block's value. It doesn't really alter anything like data-wise when the game updates. I haven't found it broken ever. It's awesome. And then obviously quieter tools. You want to actually have hearing when you grind stuff down or drill. Fun times. Hubble gum is the actual like skin you see of the sky from that first one when we loaded in, the nice colors and stuff. And that's that mod that's now broken. As you can see, it just changes the large grid to small grid just using some really easy modded block. It doesn't work, so I'll just get rid of that, no problemo. This is the automatic doors and airlocks. I'll just load it up so you can actually get it. And what I might do, I can't actually paste this in chat because I'm on my second computer and recording on my first one. Cool beans. If the stream gets choppy or anything like that, let me know. So this is by Takeo Dragon, so shout out to you. I absolutely love this mod. It's the only one that I found that really doesn't ever break. Kind of similar to that sensor mod, it just changes or adds something to that block. It doesn't really alter anything too much. Camera panning, pretty sure that's a really just good mod to obviously just move your camera around while you're in your drone and stuff. And then these are all my list of what I can add in the future. For those in the future, you can just pause whenever you want and have a look at the entire selection of mod lists that I actually have to choose from, and what I have used, been testing, haven't used, will use, etc, etc. So there you go, there's all these good stuff and things. And oh, production quota, that's another one you must have. It just adds a little box in your assembler to just keep up with production of, like, you just set, I want 1,000 construction components. Okay, the assembler will always make sure that you have 1,000 construction components. It's fantastic. And that's the mod I kind of use for the blueprints I'll show you right now. So finally, the blueprints I uploaded before, the 4 of them are now available to download, and I'm going to go through them right this second. Let's go, come on, Chimoon, let's go. So, as I was saying, that's perfect, actually. I just remembered that by looking at this. Each of these designs, so this one right here, and that one right there, and probably that one right there, that's the infinite tower. As you can see, that's the one that you saw in that short video at the start of this live stream, and in another video, because YouTube suggested me to choose that one for whatever reason it is. I don't know if you liked it or not. Let me know in the comments below. But as I was saying, that production quota is right here, and it just adds the specific you want. So if I want 100 bottles or whatever it is, I just go 100 and then set. I'm not going to, because it'll change up the blueprint in case I change it or copy it and upload that blueprint to the workshop and override the last one. So I'm not going to do that. It's fantastic. And the reason why I've got so many is each one of these are specifically set to build whatever component I need. So if I go in here, these are all the components you need to consistently build this design. So make sure you put these in the design before you start it up if you're in survival creative. So these resources are just to represent what you would have access to already in your base. So it's just in the design that you can paste down without having to fluff around, and you can test it completely in survival and on that one. I've done it on that one as well, but it's only got about 10,000 steel plates plus the other sorts of stuff needed to build conveyors and conveyor junctions and stuff like that. So what you need to do when you paste this blueprint down, make sure, I'll actually do it right in front of you, right meow. Yes, I said right meow. I'll fly on over here. You see how it's actually like kind of locked to the grid? Press B so it's not locked to the grid, and just place it obviously like nice and close as much as you can to a hill or whatever it may be. But when you paste it down, if you see the very front of the drills, if you paste it right there, the front of it did not wobble. That's not good, for the fact that these drills may not look like they're in the voxels, but the actual area of these drills come out from these corners right here to the tip of the drill. So if I come down here a bit, you'll notice if I fly over here, that drill is actually clipping it. Anyways, the corner of it is definitely in the voxels. So that's what it's actually clipping, and this will not work. This is a static grid, and I will not be able to change it into a ship because it's clipped in the voxels. So I'm going to leave that because actually, oh yeah, before I forget, no, because I pasted it in already. That's all right. I'll actually have to go back if I remember. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to get another one of the exact same one that you've got access to. Get it nice and close to that and watch the wobble. 3, 2, 1. Oh, the wobble's good. The wobble's good. It means that it is a ship and it is a mobile grid. If I go into here, it's a ship. That's what it's supposed to be for it to move. So what it does is that it just pushes it forward at a set speed, and it works similarly to my drone printer, my multi-ship drone printer, which I'll show you as well. Each velocity on the way back, it's set to negative 0.43. So when I do not reverse it when you have these settings, at a negative 0.043 will make sure it's staying in that position while it's on. But also when you increase the speed, if I go into here, just go into control and then G, I'll go into the groups and then the drill pistons. If I have it increase the velocity and decrease the velocity, increasing it will push these drills forward at a set speed of 0.007. So hang on, I'll just go into it again to make sure. Drill pistons. It will make sure it will push it in at a positive 0.07 for the fact that increasing that velocity on those pistons changes the value by 0.5. So obviously, negative 0.43 minus 0.4 negative 0.5 will give you the value of positive 0.07, allowing it to push forward in a slower speed. But when you want it to reverse and reset, you get it to reverse and, sorry, not reverse, decrease that velocity. It actually decreases it at a faster velocity, as you see just here at that 4-3 number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go Control 1 and I'm going to press 1. That's all you need to do is just press the button 1. And away it goes. And the reason why I have these items in the actual container itself is to ensure that it can build before it starts gathering rock. Once that's happened, when it gathers the rock, I've got an extra timer just here, the ore timer, to allow the first timer to trigger this and start it, to turn itself off, and to allow resources to fill this container, to fill up the ore and the stone or whatever may be collected, to be pushed into your base without actually filling your base up with the amount it can and will collect. Now, I'm not liking the way that is. That's not good how low that is. I'm gonna have to check that out if I can even get into this height offset. Just heighten that a little bit. I'm not too sure why that's so high. I'm gonna have to sort that out, as that is not visible on the one over here. As you can see, there's a massive gap in comparison. I'll just come down here and I actually use the light. So you can see there's a massive gap there. So I'm gonna have to sort out why that happens, for the fact that if that landing leg at the front of it, whoa, Sharpie. If that landing leg goes too far down, which I think it just did, it will not be able to build onto the next one, as it just did. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to start again, because that should not have happened. No, didn't wobble. No wobble. No wobble is bad. There we go. Wobble good. Oh. Now, why is this doing that? Maybe if I turn that off, it'll be more stable. And perhaps break the universe. And then I need to turn the share inertia tensor on that one first. When it stops wobbling, and then that one. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, just note to self, that may have to do that. I might have to tweak these designs as they are in testing. Yeah, there we go. That's not as good. I don't know why it's doing that. That will need to be sorted out. So if I can bring this up, 80... see if I can go to 100. Brought it up a little bit, but not too much. The max on this baby. Height offset. Oh. There we go. I was going the wrong way, that's why. 35. 45. I'm gonna have to check that, as I'm pretty sure that is not in the final design. Pretty sure that 45 value was already on this, and that's probably why that's not working. Height offset 80. No. It's alright. So let's start this one up. Even what I can do is I'll reload so everything's nice and what it was before, because I have autosave turned off. All these, yeah, more quality of life mods. Eyes just got clear. Drugs are bad. McKay update. So I'm pretty sure, oh, that's probably just going to clear up your visor. I'm pretty sure I do have a similar one to that. can't remember the name of it, to be honest. Space Just Got Real. I did test that one out, but obviously with YouTube's compression, using that mod makes space darker. I do know about that mod, if I'm not mistaken. It makes space more realistic in shadows and darkness and all that sorts of stuff. My eyesight is absolutely terrible. Not only will I not be able to see it, but when I record it and upload it to YouTube, YouTube's compression actually darkens the videos that are uploaded and shown to you. So I'd have to like manually alter the brightness in it, learn how to not only do that, but work out how much saturation or contrast or color or whatever brightness it needs to be added to per video, depending what I'm doing. It would just seem to be like a bit of a headache, I would imagine. I did try it out and I was struggling to see it as well, so... Boing. Nope, wrong button. Yeah, it's still dropping quite a bit. I really wasn't hoping to get stuck on anything like that today. It's weird how it does that. And then drops. Maybe if I turn it off on this one only, give it a bit of wiggle room. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort that one out. Moving along before I get stuck on anything else. Ugh. Rough times, rough times, rough times. Hopefully everyone is still with us at this time. Yeah, so. This is quite simply just 3 designs pretty much in one. So we have the projector itself continuously projecting this. So it's got the back end of it that covers up the previously ground down connector and merge block, and then the welder then welds over the exposed conveyor itself to then continue on, etc, etc. The other design is the actual separated grid from this merge block and connector up. So it would include all this piston all the way up and around, and including the actual welders themselves. Now, it only works on like 3 or 4. Yeah, 4 timer blocks. It's really simple, really easy. And obviously, the 4th design is the base. Like, the base with everything in it. So, the actual structure itself. Here we go. Let's press the button 1, and let's see what it does. Just moves on up. This is a very kind of slower kind of design, and you can speed it up by just increasing the velocity of these pistons to like probably 0.2 or 0.15 or something like that. But then I need to like decrease the time it takes for this to trigger up the next one to signify the entire push of these both pistons. Oh, lots of stuff, lots of stuff, lots of stuff. Boom. Something didn't go well. Going up, going down. Yeah, it's really not liking it for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Don't worry, when I fill out the description and all that jazz on it, I will fix that up. Oh, it's clipping into the blocks that were destroyed just before. See, this is a very, very same design, except it's just got enough welders on the outside of it to actually build everything up. So I'll do that. Press 1 again. See if I can escape. Escape. Now, hopefully this doesn't mess up or anything like that. It'd be nice. Yeah, it's still got the same problem. It's still dropping to the edge. See, I don't know why. It's probably because I've been reloading and loading the game, to be honest. So if I close the game down and then open it back up again, that issue probably won't show up anymore. But I will make sure that that gets fixed before you actually kind of enjoy it as much as possible. So make sure you still subscribe to it. It will get fixed and it will be a working design. It's just got a couple of bugs at the moment. See, this is what it should be doing. It should be just keeping a nice even distance away from it. Really quite easy. But worst comes to worst, and that doesn't work, or because the AI update changes it, I can just add another piston here to allow the leg itself to like retract and like push down and stuff like that to make it keep going. Alright, so we've got the space elevator itself. And as I said, the blocks themselves are only like 9 blocks. So we've got 1, 2, 3 by 3 with the actual conveyors themselves. So you can even, if you wanted to, have a base that's up in space connected to this thing, connected via connector if you have that PCU problem we were talking about before, and just transfer surface items to space just by dragging and clicking. It would be so simple and easy to be insane. Now, I haven't done too much testing with this design as of yet. As you saw in the little short video of it going up and then back down again, it worked out rather quite well. If I go into it again, Control 2 and then press 1 for it to go up. Oh, it will go up. It'll go up at top speed of 25, and once again it only has like 33% power it's using at the moment, so that's not too bad. And then before we get to the top, I'll press timer 2 or button 2 to enable it to flick around. Just do that now, why not? Here we go, going on down, going on down. So I noticed before that the back of these blocks here actually did some damage. Why did something explode in the distance? And parachutes. Yeah, perfect as always. That seems to have exploded. I'm definitely going to have to figure this one out, as this was definitely not doing that before. Yeah. So with the space elevator, this is the same sort of design. We've got the actual printer and drill itself, the base of your home base and its production and stuff like that, and then the actual projection itself that covers up that last block just there. That would then get taken over by where this merge block is, that gets grinded down by the grinder and then welded up by the welder. Alright, moving on to the next one. How long have we been actually going? Only about half an hour. Wow. Oh, this is the second part of it technically, so hour 10 minutes technically. That's not too bad. Not that I'm really excited for it to finish. I really don't want it to finish, but I do have to go pick up my son at 4 o'clock. So, show and explain, infinite, the printer. Here we go. The one design I know perfectly works. I've never had a problem with this thing. The multi-ship drone printer and missile storage. So obviously unlock it and paste it down. Lock on over here. Cool bananas. So if we wanted, so we've got all sorts of buttons. I'll go through them now. So we've got a sneaky one over here. This is the mine collector drone. It collects all the mines that the minefield drone 2 and minefield drone 1 drop out in the world. I'll print them up. I'm more than happy to. We've got the player drone, player follow drone. I have 2 versions of this drone, and one of them is not available on this design, which is not available on the workshop. Let me know, pester me as much as possible to upload this design. This is, I'll be honest with you, this is my precious. It really is. It's taken me a lot of finicking, fiddling, fart-arsing around to get this thing to work as intended. So as I was continuing on, we've got the missile projector itself, and that is completely or almost vanilla. It uses that 1200 meter sensor extender range, or range extender mod, to 1200 meters to enable it to like seek out enemies and like destroy them. So we may even be able to launch up one of those as well. We've got the patrol drone, we've got the actual printer head itself, and I'll press this button in a second, but we'll look just there at that small conveyor junction there. There's nothing. I'll press that button and now there's something. This is the conveyor that connects onto the missile itself. So that's the first one I'll print up by pressing the button to turn that projector on. We've also got the cargo drone and the unknown signal collector drone. Most of these designs will probably be my older ones, so I will go into it and get the projector, control A and C. We'll get the... where are ya? Sensor missile. Planetary missile. Get the one from the Steam Workshop, so you know it is available for you to use right now. That's that connected. Let's flick this sun around. Oh, let there be daylight. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let's get rid of everything. So the way this works is really simple, is that you can turn the printer pistons on or off. This is a fantastic feature for you to have on any printer itself, for the fact that cargos themselves are large. So it may take longer to build that item compared to some smaller ones. So if you're pulling these welders out and you've got a really hard block that won't build while they're moving away kind of thing, or they'll get out of range too fast, you just press the button, it stops it right there, you make sure the block gets built up, you press the button again and it continues on. Now, another button I've got is to turn the welders on or off, obviously, so I'll just turn them back off again, just quickly. And we've got the increase and decrease velocity of those pistons once more. So I'll go into that. We've got the decrease to actually print up anything you want by pulling the pistons back and the welders away from each other to print something up. And then for the faster velocity, because it changes it by 0.5 meters per second each time you press or trigger the increased velocity, it will change it so it will reset backwards. But at the same time, if you've got a really simple design like this, you can build up, press the button multiple times so it pulls away faster to build it faster. So once that's all done, that's all out of the way, let's turn those welders off. Hold that, just make sure this gets nice and full. 60, 70, this is all survival. It's all taking the hydrogen, as you see right there, it's dropping. Oh, it's actually gaining because it has dropped. And there it is right there. Perfectamundo. We press button 1, which is why this is over here. It brings over this. This design, it's a little bit weird for the fact that each time the rotor spins around, the velocity is very hard to set to guarantee it lands in the same spot every single time. So it's quite a pain in the butt. And then we press this button here to push this piston out, or these two pistons out. It locks on up. That Gatling gun right there shoots that conveyor block out of the way, which is why it's a ghost with the printer head. And then it just pulls it out of the way with that rotor. So by pressing the button here, this is just the reverse of the piston that's just here. Just needs to be set at whatever velocity you put in it. So if I went into it, move out of the way a little bit more so I don't get clipped. If I change this to, I don't know, like 5 or something, which I'm pretty sure is the default, or 1 or something, which is the default, it'd move back and forward at 1. It wouldn't change by that because you're reversing it, not increasing or decreasing its velocity. So we've left that over there. I would like to build something else. Let's get rid of the missile. And I was going to build the... I don't know. What one should I build next? Let me know in the chat. What have we got? I'm really terrible at checking it. So the chat, we got Persistent again. We got the Milky Way and Hubblegum Skyblocks are rather dark when I have used them unless I was in space. Yes. That is definitely for sure. It just darkened. I love the mod and I love the realism, but even in Kerbal Space Program, I have a mod called Planet Shine. And even so, in the actual game, if you're not quite familiar with it, it will actually not reflect light off planets as realistic as what you think. So one side of your space station will be really bright from being in the sun, and then the other side will be pretty much black in darkness because it just doesn't have any reflections off the planet. Planet Shine allows you to alter the light ambient, or the ambient light, that reflects off the planet to increase the visuals that I myself, and then the compression doesn't screw me so much when I upload it to YouTube. So it is what it is. Cargo drone can do. Control V, we'll get the cargo drone, remove that. We'll get the cargo that is available on the workshop right now. We'll turn the welders off, that's all off. And what we can do, because we actually have that increase and decrease velocity, we can just press the button multiple times to bring them in faster. Really easy, really simple. So we'll just bring it back to where it presses the button to come out. Awesome sauce. So this is actually a perfect drone to show why the on and off button is perfect. So we'll turn it on and print it on up. I'll get a nice top view of this one quickly. So you see the actual cargo container itself is really quite large. And then from there, after that, because I'm in create, I've got creative mode tools on, it'll just build it instantly. Oh, wrong button. So you could just turn that off. It'd still be in range of building all these little small bits up before pulling out of the range. So I can just turn that piston back on and it just continues on. It's just a really good setting if, like, worst comes to worst and things go to hell, you can just shut it down kind of thing. It's like an emergency stop. So here we go. Got all that. So what I might do, while that's building up very quickly, I am going to go over here and set up a quick GPS. GPS 1. No, I can't do that. GPS 1 with the /. Thank you, Sharpie. That will be for the planetary missile. I will need to paste down an enemy grid as well. Change it to enemy and turn off the turrets as well, just for name's sake. So here we go, that's just theirs, and I've got a button here to actually just disconnect this. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. For my minefield drone, that button there is mainly for all groups, which I had to remove. Groups and all that sorts of stuff with timer blocks and how my drones work. If you look at my first survival season, on my circle of protection drone tower, which I'll COP drone tower 2.0, paste this bad boy in. When all of these red drones get disconnected to drop all of these individual payloads that you see that is connected on with the connectors, and then come back to lock on to these connectors, the timer blocks that tell the drone's connector to connect may transfer that command or that grouped command that is also familiar on a familiar identical drone. So I actually have a command to turn all of the turrets on or off, depending if it's activated or docking, to stop these ones here from shooting my tower and shooting each other out if an enemy were to fly into my base and I didn't have time to activate them or whatever it may be. As that happens, it will trigger some of the drones that are already connected and not the ones that are not connected, obviously. So it kind of isn't even, and my OCD was going absolutely crazy. Some turrets were turning on, some were not. Some damage was being done in really weird ways. You know what I mean. So I'll get rid of this one, but this is, I'll just show you. I might as well. It's right here. This is my second tower. Is this a grid? Convert to ship. Thank you. Tower elevator. Yep. Oh, it's only one. That's alright. Lucky I have this so I can just do that. There's two pistons that'll push you to the very top. Oh, that's why, because they're underneath. Hang on. I was supposed to do this. That. I was wondering why it was going really slow. Yeah, convert to station, ship, sorry. And, oh, that's probably going to do the same thing anyway. Because they're not, and I'm not going to change it. But yeah, the elevator pushes you all the way to the top, so you can actually have access in case you have no hydrogen. You have access to a survival kit, lots of storage, lots of ammo, all the good jazz. Good stuff and things. Alright, cool beans. Back to the printer. All right, now we've got this one here. It just turns this merge block off so you can just disconnect that. I can control it because it's not named. There I am right there. Hi, how's it going? How are we today? So yeah, that's the cargo drone, and this thing actually has some really good features on it. If I go to the timers very quickly, if it'll let me. Search, thank you. Timer, here we go. So it's got a dock load and a dock unload for the fact that it's obviously trying to convert or transfer resources from your mining platform that may be away from your base, like on the top of that mountain over there or something, to where your base is over here. You want to have the ability to transfer ammo to also rearm your mining platform, and that is why, if I turn my jetpack on, I have these sorts of like conveyors, sorters, and all that sorts of stuff. Those timers just here. So when it gets to the unload is for when you get back to your home base and you want to pump all the stone out of it, and you want to load the drone full of ammo to reload your mining platform. Once that's done, it's got a specific timer to allow some transfer of resources, or you can have it on a loop as well. I've got a tutorial. I won't get too far into it. The load timer is obviously when you're at your mining platform. It allows this sorter to turn on and pull all the stone from your mining platform into the large container, and also to turn on the correct sorters to push out the ammo needed to refill your mining platform wherever it may be. So it's a really quite handy feature that I've even found quite useful. So I'm going to leave this one down here in case we get back to it, just off the floor, because I know it will run out of power. When you build batteries in Space Engineers, you automatically start with about 20 or 25% battery. So you could even make an infinite power, and people have done in the past, where they just build batteries, grind them down using a projector, weld up more batteries, grind them down, while in the process of discharging the battery before grinding them each time. So I don't know how effective it is, because you're using power. It's a fluctuation of it instead of just having a constant like solar or even wind turbine, to be honest, or even hydrogen engine, or even nuclear does so much more than what that can possibly do. I've got to check out the comments once more. Persistent, I'm not too sure what you mean by the wheel. I'm pretty sure that answered your question on what the wheel was. Hopefully this is what you were talking about. I need to press the button to turn that back on again. I'm going to turn off that cargo drone now that you know what that is. I'm going to launch this one up, or at least start setting it up very quickly by placing an enemy however far away. Let me know what drone or whatever design you want me to print up next using this thing. I'll even reset it very quickly. Turn the welders off. That's fine. And what I'm going to do is, all I need to add into this remote block is the add to remote timer. Missile remote, I need to go to 1, and I want you to trigger that add to remote timer. Yep. So note to self, if you're ever triggering a timer block the way I am on a GPS, or even on a timer block itself to trigger another one, always make sure that the timer block itself that you're triggering isn't set to trigger another timer block. So a double trigger, the game doesn't really quite like, and will sometimes miss the second trigger. So it's always better to start the timer that's set to trigger the next timer. Hopefully that makes sense. But since I've got no timer block set to do anything on the next command, I'm just going to leave it as is. So that's pretty much done for that one. I need to go into the sensor front, and this is the one that tells it to trigger. I'm going to set this to 850 or 750, I think. 775, depends where I do it. So I'm just going to save it right there, because I can always just go back, as I never have autosave turned on, especially when I'm testing. I F5 a lot. So I can find a working design, save my game, and then just revert back to that specific time whenever I want. So that's pretty much back on. I don't want it to be smack on. I want it to be off center, so it doesn't make it easy on the what's the name. Yep, cool. I'm gonna paste it right over here. So F10. Rhino ship with cluster. This is the one that's available on the Steam Workshop. As always, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna paste it in the actual voxels themselves. Make sure I've got invulnerability, untargetable. If you upload this printer, I plan to print a bunch of cargo drones. Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I also have one of my episodes of my survival series. My survival playthrough. It's really easy, really easy to set up your own kind of printer to print out that sort of thing. As if I go into here and look up stick, yes, cargo stick, you'll actually notice that it's just a landing leg with a projector, some batteries, and I'll just lock that there. I'll even build it like right now, like just imagine this being a little bit further away so you can fit a piston and a welder at the end of it. Paste this in so it's in the middle of the block and away you go. Set the buttons up with the increase, decrease, off, on, welders on, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, easy, done. So let me just get rid of this. Just nice and easy. There we go. I need to turn this into an enemy. No, not that one. That one. Yep. Control A. Transfer to Space Pirates. I need to go to the turrets and turn them off. Because when you paste this in, I'm pretty sure... Yeah. Everything has ammo and it does a lot of damage. I tell you what, it does a lot of damage. F8 and then... When you're in spectator mode, quick tip, control space while in creative mode kind of thing will allow you to spawn your person where your spectator camera is. And then obviously going over them again, F7 to go where your character is for your spectator camera, F8 to control that spectator camera. Then while you're in this, press F9 to control your character. F6 is to go back. Very quickly, once more, if those just catching up. Now, alrighty then, so this should work as far as I'm aware. It should go up to 1 and it should go over there. It may need a couple tweaking, so I'll do a quick save there. And I've got an emergency like disconnect, so you can disconnect it, have only access to this one grid if you've got like 3 other missiles you've got connected there, so you've got no problems with that. I can just reconnect it once more, that's no problemo. The button on the front here will allow it to like disconnect any of the merge blocks or anything like that and turn everything on retrospectively, which is why you kind of see red, green and yellow of all the traffic lights in the world apart from Japan, I think, which they use blue. Oh, well there you go. There's blue right there. That's on recharge, that's on, and when you like disconnect everything, some things may change, etc, etc. So this one here just allows it to trigger everything up. So I'm going to go into the timers and I'm going to try and explain things kind of as fast as I can. So the printer launch timer just disconnects it and it's just a separate thing. Then hits onto the initiate timer, which sends it up into the air and it will start the height aim timer. This one here will need to be changed, depends on how high you've put your GPS. So you want the drone or this missile to stop before it gets above that GPS, because it's just the way the remote blocks work in this game. I'll explain it when I trigger it up in just a second. I do have a gravity cancel for the fact that this thing can go like 10 kilometers away with the amount of fuel it has. And obviously you don't want it to zoom off the planet going in a straight line like that. You'd obviously get out of off the planet before reaching anyone on the other side of like the equator or whatever it may be. So I'm actually going to disconnect that so I have just this grid alone. That the height aim timer just allows it to fly up and then turns the remote pilot on, or the autopilot on, so it flies to that GPS. And then once it gets to that GPS one, it triggers that add to remote. which turns off the autopilot, turns on the thrusters to go forwards, turns all the sensors on, and then turns on that gravity cancel gyroscope. That's what I use. I've just got an overridden gyroscope to point the nose down ever so slightly, just to cancel out that gravity as much as possible. Never really tweaked it as much as possible, so it works as far as I know. We'll kind of find out, I guess, if I ever get to that point. Now, so I will connect this back up so it does show it. So remote block to make sure everything's all done. You want forward, you want 10Ks, you want it to go to that GPS I created just before, and you want it to go to the remote, you want it to trigger the add to remote timer. Once that's all done, I'm gonna save it right now. Jetpack on, Control Z to lock to the mobile grid, and then I'm gonna press the button to launch it. So what should do, should go up for 5 seconds, as you saw what that timer did. Level out, and this is why I have the remote block, if I can find it. Here it is, facing this way. So it's facing that way, so it's flat. If I were to face it the way I'm oriented now, it would be flying in that direction, not in this direction. So you can see it's obviously flown above the printer for the 5 seconds, the height aim timer, to allow it to fly below this one. Sometimes this does not hit that one, and the reason why is for the fact that it's going a little bit too fast. Just go into that remote block and just slow it down from the 10. But you see, as normal, thank Christ that it actually did do it. It turns all the sensors on, does all the good jazz, and once you see it's not aiming for it whatsoever, there you go, it's turning. This is in the cluster missile. I might have to swap it, but that's fine. There you go. Nice hit. And yes, it does some serious damage. As you notice, like, my CIC is just as in here, did some serious damage, but it still held up pretty well. I can even Shift F5, sorry, not Shift F5. You use that button to actually save the game. F5 alone will allow you to quick load. Okay. Cargo drone, if you upload, I have to do a food run, so I'll catch the rest of the upload. Have a good rest of the stream. Thanks, Persistent. Thank you so much for joining. What speeds do you set the pistons for on a welder when it is running on its own? The bonus to your printer is definitely the missile launch. Yeah, the missile launch, yeah, for sure, it is. This rotor has caused me many headaches, and I'll show you why. You'll be quite surprised. Yeah, I built a clock. I built a flippin' clock. Oh, come on, thing. Just level. Go level. Stuff and things. Do it. Yeah, I built a clock. And yes, it does work. It's just not 100% accurate. And I don't like uploading designs that are not 100% accurate, which is why I'm kind of peeved that the other one didn't work. So it actually does work. I need to go into the G menu to see what we got. Minute trigger, hour trigger. Start clock trigger. Yeah, that one there. So it's 3 to start it. And then obviously we've got a second hand timer in the bottom right. Shows you individual seconds. And then the white hand is the hour and the black hand is the minute. So you set the time by pressing 1 and 2, which is why I've got those. So you can trigger them as many times as needed to get the right correct time that you are at that moment. And then you press 3 to start it. So I'll just leave that alone. But yeah, you can just imagine that rotors without a script and just vanilla, they're not as accurate in their rotation, especially because they work on velocity and not like rotations per minute per se. Yeah, it's kind of strange. So if I go to the rotor, allows me. Yeah, if I go to here, it's set to some really weird number that I just really can't quite figure out. There you go. So that's another thing I needed to fix Cool beans. I needed to set it back an hour for it to click onto the, Cool bananas. No problemo. But yeah, it is what it is. No, this design here is not available to download for the fact that it's not exactly finished, I guess. Unless you want it, which I'm more than happy to upload it. I have no problems uploading it, but for anyone to test out further. I did have, obviously, my digital. I've got my digital one that is available. Clock. I'll just load up. Yeah, it's not available. That's the one I tried to test with when I first started out. So I've got two designs here. Just got the simple one with the simple lights, and the reason why I use these interior lights kind of thing and not the spotlights like in this design for the fact that these are way more performance intensive, as these are 25 PCU, and I'm pretty sure these are actually about the same. Yeah, they're about 25 PCU, but these are actually more performance inducing and performance danger than the actual smaller ones themselves, but they do show up a further distance, obviously. So let's get rid of those two. Get rid of this one. Here we go. So there's actually a second function to this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the sensor and change it up to 725, 750. 750 should be okay. That should be fine. I need to go into the timers, and I need to go over here. No, disconnect it. So I've got all the timers that I need, and what we need to do is start that one, have that one started, and then start the third one. So what this will do is that instead of releasing two separate loads of the payloads, so instead of it releasing like the outside layer times 2, it will only release each of them kind of individually. So we'll test this out again. We'll do a quick shift 5 and then X for my jetpack, control Z, and then let's launch it up. So once again, that height aim timer goes up to about here, 5 seconds. Probably could increase that to about maybe 6 or 7. It doesn't really quite matter. It just needs to clear whatever you have on the ground kind of thing. I need to wet my chaps. Hang on 1 second. So we're not looking at the floor. So as I said before, sometimes it may get a little bit too fast. If so, just slow it down a bit. I probably should, but I found 10 was the best. Perfectamundo. Oh, excuse me. Just a bit of a drink. Had to. Here we go. There we go. It's hooked onto it using just those sensors and that sensor mod. No scripts, no DLCs, and it only uses that one mod. So now you'll see it actually release them all kind of thing. So it covers a lot more area, and that's why I did reduce it. I knew I should have done 700, but I can actually do by just pressing F5 enter. Let's reload back to the old save and just go again. No problemo. Alright, so what I needed to do is I needed to go into that sensor front and then just change it to even 675. We'll even go a little bit earlier. So I'll save it there. Shift F5, X, Control Z, button. Oh, unknown signal. There it is. Here we go. Perfectamundo. Let's do it again. That's awesome, Nathan. I'm glad that any of this is actually helping. Ask any questions. Reading chat. You're pretty much one of the only people here, I kind of guess. Yeah, it is what it is. After this one, I want to show you the mods I've got planned and what you should probably go for if you're going for like a vanilla or quality of life kind of thing. And I want to show you shortly after I started off that survival playthrough. So I've like altered my respawn pod and then flown over to a cliff face where I've got some major plans in store, especially with the new AI update. I can just imagine how cool it's going to be. There we go, it's locked on. And this one will actually release a lot further. Oh, actually, no, I needed to increase it. I'm a schmuck. Because obviously increasing the sensor will allow it to trigger earlier. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is what it is. I wasn't supposed to reduce it, I was supposed to increase it. How is the stream? Is it still working? Is it still going all right? Or is it really still quite laggy? Here we go. No, sensor. $850, that should be much better. Shift F5, X, Control Z, and button. Alright, let's do that again. This one should be much better. Should activate a lot earlier. It's a lot smoother than earlier. Oh, that's good. Because I'm watching it on my computer on the right, and it's kind of weird. Maybe if I try and do that. My computer's going fine. Well, both of them are technically. Like, I'm not overheating, it's not overusing. It's just chilling at about 55, 60 degrees CPU, 40 degrees GPU. It's my old PC that's pushing out the stream and using OBS, as I've got the Elgato 4K capture card. And on my gaming computer that I'm using right now to play the game, I've got 40 degrees CPU, 50 degrees GPU. That's because I got really low kind of fan settings on my GPU. I need to add more fans to my case. Get this! I had some major problems with my old PC, which is why I couldn't do a lot of streams recently. And that's because my CMOS battery failed. Out of anything overall, my CMOS battery actually died because it was a 6 or 5 year old freaking computer. So it actually developed symptoms the same as like memory or RAM failure. And I did a bit of research before purchasing new RAM, because I'm like, it couldn't be that. But that was an awesome explosion, by the way. And yeah, it was a battery that I went out, bought for $4, put it in my case, and it was fine. This was shortly after finding out that my power supply unit, my PSU, had failed, and it was no longer providing power to anything whatsoever. So I jerry-rigged my new power supply from my new computer into the motherboard of my old PC to test that it was the old power supply and not anything else, because we had an electrical strike out the front of our house, really quite dangerously. That was hectic. That was really good. That was a really good hit. That was for sure. What drone does anyone want next? If we have an unknown signal, oh, we do. Actually, we do. This is actually a perfect time for me to do this, to be honest. I can actually go and collect that unknown signal now. All I need to do is I need to... I need... What was it? I needed... GPS... drop... And then I need... GPS high. GPS drop, GPS high. That should be it. Hopefully that GPS isn't too low. I'm pretty sure that's going to be too low. Alright. That also allows me to show you another quick way. If you've also typed something in chat previously, use your arrow keys up and down to actually go through your history. So GPS drop, didn't need to type it. Just tap the arrow key button up twice and it was there. Done. No problem. Let's come down here. Let's go into their projector of the signal drone. Let's turn off, I think it was the cargo drone. No, hang on. Signal drone, that's cool. Remove that one. Unknown signal retrieval drone, which is available on the workshop also. So we need to turn the welders on and we need to pull those pistons back. Need to press the button a few times because we reset the printer before by just mashing the button to increase the velocity. And wait for it. You may notice something different. Oh, really? It's pointing up? Why is it pointing up? Oh, other way around. It's pointing up because the mag pads on the bottom of it allow it to connect to that unknown signal to retrieve it. And the camera allows me to see, obviously, if I need to. And it won't really allow me to put that merge block anywhere else. I guess I could possibly put it here, but then you're blocking the view of the camera aiming downwards anyway. So that's not really too good. Let's pull those pistons out of the way a bit more. I might give this a bit of a charge. It should be okay. I'll disconnect it. Go into this. Let's fly up and over. Let's turn off those mag pads on the bottom of it in case it does die. I'm going to go over here, go into it, and I'm going to set it up really quickly, and I'm going to show you how to. Go to the remote block. So I've got everything here. So the S clear is going to be the high. So you want to add the high. I'll remove these 5 here in a second. So you want it to go to high. You want it to go to the unknown signal. Then you want it to come back to the high again. And then you want it to go to the dock. Or the drop or the dock, whatever it may be. So let's get rid of all these. Remove, 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 remove. Oh no. Stop it. Same thing. Come on. It's probably doing a good thing doing this, so it's got more battery. That reminds me, I need to go into them to remove them, which is really annoying. Because sometimes it does trigger them as you remove them. And then you can remove them. One at a time. Huh. So, you want it to go to high, you want it to go to the unknown signal, you want it to come back and then drop. So, when it gets to the high, you don't want it to do really anything. Let me just double check. Signal drone. This is the same one from the Steam Workshop anyway, so it doesn't really quite matter. The remote block. Okay, you want to do nothing, and then, yeah, the collision avoidance on, and then off again. Yeah. Collision avoidance on, and then off again. So, go into here. So, you want the remote block's collision avoidance on when it gets to the top. And then you want it to turn off when you get there. But you also want it to lock those mag pads. Once that gets done, you want it to come back. You want it to turn off the collision avoidance so it can dock. It'll come down to the drop. And I want it to unlock those mag pads on the bottom of it, thus dropping the actual payload itself. So let's pop a quick save right here. Let's go to the go and let's start her up. I'll just start it so I can actually have time to do this. So what it's going to do, it'll go up to the high, clearing everything it needs to, like your base or whatever it may be, just to clear a little bit. Not really quite necessary as the new addition. Thank you to that commenter. I cannot remember your name. Let me know or comment down below. Give you another shout out later on. That actually enabled me to get that thing back up and running just by having a sensor on it. See? It's actually got the collision avoidance and I flew right in the middle of it, so that's why it freaked out. So it should come on over to the unknown signal, and hopefully it's not too difficult, or is it? It's not one that's going to like explode or something. Knowing me. Oh, this could be a little bit difficult. It'd be a good test though, and it might be one that explodes, to be honest. No, should be alright. Just battery. So incoming drone. Yes, I'm still flying next to it. Good old Control Z. The share inertia tensor. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Let me know in the comments. Oh, yeah, 100%. And locks on. Beautiful. Flies on up with the collision avoidance back on again, which is absolutely fantastic. Rooney. And I'm actually going to unlock from it, and I'm going to go down to the drop, because that's where it's going to meet me. So you could do this all from home, but a little thing you should know, control 9, no, where's an antenna? Antenna, no. Antenna, and I know I've got a cockpit somewhere here. 7. Do this. On your base, put a control seat or a cockpit or whatever it may be, because it will increase your player's antenna from the default like 200. So if I were to be like, I don't know, like, I think it was like, I can't remember what the default distance is, but like 200 or 300 meters away from the drone itself, you can't go into the remote access and like control it as easy. Just doesn't work, but going into this will allow you to increase the range, oh, whoa, by using that antenna. And there you go. Let's see what we actually got, shall we? Boop. Oh, we got a special item, eh? Anything? Oh, wood suit. Cool, that's one I don't have. Thanks, thing. Any monies? Oh, yeah, 5.5 grand. Cool beans. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's how you do it. So I'm just gonna, like, you can just grind that down, use the resources however you want, but that's how you can easily collect skins in this game. Just by using this easy, nifty little drone. I love this thing. I love this thing, and so does everyone else, it seems. So I'm just gonna cut out of that, and I'm gonna go and paste it right there. What other drone does everyone want to know or want to see, to be honest? So let's turn that off, and then let's turn this off. Got the patrol drone. That's kind of boring. It's a really simple, just goes to each GPS and then comes back and docks. You can have it on a loop, however the hell you want. That's no problem. I've got tutorials for pretty much all of these designs. The next one I should probably do is, it could be the minefield drone. See, it would cover 2 designs in doing that. So let's go to the projector, minefield drone 2.0, minefield drone version 2. And of course, I'm going to need to, this is what also the build vision mod is also fantastic for. I look at the projector I need to move. Show only buildable off, so I can actually see where it is. Where are ya? No, not that way. Oh, okay, hang on. The pitch. Is that the way I need it? Yes, it is. That's perfect. Horizontal offset. No, it's not the one. Vertical. Bring it up a little bit. And this is what you may have to do. Forward offset. There we go. Beautiful. And that's how you can just connect it up nice and easy. So without having to like put a control seat, set up all the, like the G menus. So you'd have to go into the control seat, go to the projector of the specific one. Where is it? Minefield drone 2. And then you have to like increase, vertical, decrease. And it ends up taking like multiple pages. You can also, in timer blocks as well, you can also click down here and press your like your period and your comma key, so your full stop and comma, and you can like scroll over to have many more different pages in the timer blocks itself. So I'll paste one down, and this is fantastic if you run out of room. So you can go into the setup actions and you go, oh no, I've run out of room. You can click on there, you can press your full stop button, and you've got more pages, another 9 of them, you know what I mean? So really good tip. I love timer blocks so much. So we'll come back over here and I'll turn that keep projection on, because leaving your projectors like this, projecting everything that can be built, is actually more performance inducing. So it's always better to have show only buildable on. Much better. So we've got those welders off. Let's bring them all back in. And what I can also do is I can go Shift F10, turn my creative mode tools off, and this is 100% survival. So interior plate, because I don't have any. I can't place it down because I can't do anything. So if I open my helmet, I won't actually use my oxygen, which I will do. I don't want to scuffocate. It'd be great. I can turn those welders on, and then I can pull these pistons back at a normal speed. And everything, all the components and stuff like that is actually in these cargo containers already for when I pasted it down. So don't have to fart ass around and like make sure I've got enough stuff. I can just put it down, build it as you saw. It's very satisfying watching these things build, especially when it's all 100% survival and it transfers the resources properly. Because obviously in creative, the welders just pull components and stuff out of thin air. It's like the Acme components. Meep meep. Wait for that last one to finish, or last two. Ding ding. Wait for it. And then I need to go and place 4 GPSs. 5, technically. That's right, no jetpack. So let me just make sure everything there got built. There we go, 103 out of 103. Beautiful. I'll leave that charging just a smudge. I'm going to go and turn the pistons off. Oh, no. Welders off, and then pull the pistons back a little bit. Turn my creative mode tools back on, because I really like my jetpack. It's really fun, and it's really handy. I still find it cheaty in survival. I really do, but planning out a lot of stuff for each episode and trying to get it done for each episode without wasting like 6 hours a day trying to do it for each week is just a nightmare, and that's what I found out the hard way for my first season. It was just a nightmare. So I'm gonna make some more GPSs. GPS dock, and then I'm gonna go over here. Doesn't need to be up high, or it needs to be at least a fair distance off the floor, if that makes sense. GPS 1A. Doesn't need to be named anything. I'm just naming them this because I can. 2A. 3A, and then 4A. So that's all the GPSs that it needs. It needs one like above a connector to like dock up, but I'm just going to use that there for now. You can go and check out my tutorial if you want to see anything more detailed. Let's do this thing. So while this is actually connected up, it's actually better to go into the remote block and try to add stuff as you can. But because there is so many different things, especially if this thing is actually full of all your designs, you've got way more timer blocks you'll need to add. It's going to be much easier to actually disconnect the grid itself, so you only have the grid to deal with. So this one's actually really easy to do. You want it to go to each of those GPSs to then drop each of those payloads, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you want it to come back to that docking GPS. Depending on your game or how laggy or how heavy this drone is, you might want to put another GPS, I don't know, like 10 meters above that dock GPS, just to allow the drone to go to that first and then come straight down on top of that connector or that dock GPS. Just a little hint for you. I also say that in my 3 main tutorials, beginner, medium, and advanced. Make sure you go and check them out. They're really, really, really good. So at 1A, we need it to drop the back payload by triggering it. At 2A, we need to drop the front of it. 3A, we need to drop the left. Yep, thank you. And then at 4A, we need it to drop the right. Now, obviously, when it gets down on that connector, on that dock, we need it to start that secure dock. But I'm not going to... It'll probably turn off the thrusters and drop out of the sky, but that's what it would do. It would lock the connector onto the connector you would place above your connector. Connector. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that one didn't finish. It said everything was finished. Mustn't have had time. I must have just left it. Yeah. Probably just needed a little bit more. But that should have shown that it was finished, which it didn't. Strange. What I could also do is connect this back up, and I'm pretty sure this button now works. You see, it now works because that GPS to trigger all the drones is actually here. So this comes with the drone of the minefield on both of them, so all of them will trigger at once. That's how all 8 of them trigger. It's just, it is what it is. So what I can actually do is I can shift F5 there and jetpack, Control Z, and then I can actually just press that button. So if worst comes to worst and I needed a minefield drone ASAP, I could set it up as I just did. And probably why I set it up the way I did is so I can show everyone like this. So I haven't got the AI betas code installed at the moment. I can install that later and show a few of the things that I may or not have shown. Oh, these... Okay. I do need to put in parachutes. I forgot about that. Canvas. Just put it in there. The last one should be fine. Oh, there you go. I got one in there, so... Yeah, it needs ammo. Obviously, you'd connect this up to your base. That would automatically pull ammo and shoots through its connector and out through these connectors. Which is the difference between my first version and this version. So I'll just disconnect from that. Fly on down. I won't print it up as it's practically the same thing. Minefield version 1. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's not able to transfer those resources. And I was really getting sick of having to place ammo and shoots and all sorts of stuff individually. It was doing my head in. I couldn't do it anymore. So that's why I came up with the multiple, because this came out after that. These sorts of merge blocks. This is the newer kind of block that came out within the last year or so. And this merge block is just the older design. It's a 3x3 instead of just a 1x1. So it enabled me to get this connector to connect everything up nice and easy. So I'll just disconnect that and get it back out again so it's there. Or I can even just just F5 and just reload to the other one. Yeah, I'm planning to start a new survival game using your tunneler and trying to figure out how to make a printer. In my new survival, I'm going to try and get no jetpack. Oh, trust me, it's going to be a royal pain. If you want to build a welder drone, I really suggest you build a welder and grinder drone. Make sure it has lots of thrust in every direction, not just pointing down to cancel out the gravity, for the fact that you may be oriented in the most weirdest ways imaginable, and then all of a sudden you're going to be going, oh, why am I dropping out of the sky? Boom, splash, boom, you're dead. Oh, I'm upside down. Silly me. Doing that will stop you from screwing up. So it's just really hard trying to fit a lot of thrusters depending on what planet or atmospheric, hydro, whatever it may be, depending on what it is. I do suggest you definitely try and do hydrogen for something that's going to be as heavy as the welder drone or a cargo drone. I wonder if I have a welder drone. No, I don't. So I'll just disconnect that and I will cut it out, paste it over here so we can add it to what we have already done. So obviously when these are yellow, these connectors, I'll just say very, very, very quickly, these connectors are yellow until you actually trigger that activate timer. So the activate... Oh, I'm trying to do a stream and this internet is just really, really not liking me. Alright, am I fine now? Is it working? It seems to be. I hope so. Maybe? Yes? Okay. Continuing on. Hopefully everything is working. Let's get these things all set up. Let's turn those welders on. Let's get those pistons on. Let's turn the creative mode tools off, because I can. And because I remembered this time. Yeah, sorry about that. This internet is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on, why it's doing this. I have no idea. I'm going to have to do some research. Because technically this is only my third live stream. And the second one completely failed and I couldn't continue because my internet shut down and turned off. It wouldn't let me do anything. It wouldn't let me continue, wouldn't let me do nothing. So this is why I'm gonna try and download everything shown here today, edit it, cut out all the rubbish bits, and then put it together, and hopefully what I download isn't terrible footage that I can actually use. I'm not too sure what you missed out on when I pulled out that patrol drone. Batteries on top of the printer. Yes, these are the batteries just here. Batteries and reactors. I don't know why I've got the batteries. Just something I never changed, I guess, to be honest. And then I've got assemblers and refineries, just because I guess I was doing testing with some scripts, probably the Izzy Solar script and the Izzy's Inventory Manager scripts, to be honest, as I did really like them, but they're very, very, just scripts in general that run every second, so every tick in Space Engineers. It's just very performance inducing, and my i7 7700K and 1080 Ti Waterforce graphics card in my old PC just did not cut it at all. Just didn't. It just really didn't like it. So with this one here, I can probably just get it to go just straight above itself. GPS player. Doesn't matter what you really quite name it. Got to remember how I've actually done this. Player follow drone. This is the one I'm talking about. This is the one that just uses a sensor, just that sensor mod. Remote control. It just goes up. I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then turn those sensors on. Remote drone remote control. Tower approach. Yeah, so it goes up. Autopilot off, sensor chase on. Okay, yeah. So I want it to go to player only, that's fine. And turn sensor chase, which is the group. No. Sensor chase on. So that enables it to lock onto me, so, and then it turns off the autopilot. So remote, turn off the autopilot. So now I need to go into that, remove, so it doesn't double up on anything, and remove, and then get rid of that, and that. So we want it to just go up to the player GPS, and that's it. So funny enough, this actually also does have that activate drones, as that's on my circle of protection drone tower as well. So we'll just get onto that. We just did a save. I'll just do another one just in case, and we'll just disconnect that. Oh, no, connect that and then activate that. So what this will do is that it will fly up to the player GPS, and I'm going to fly all the way over here. Yep. It'll follow me. Here it comes. This was probably my third or fourth design I ever actually designed or built, or however you want to call it. And it's kind of hard, kind of easy to explain how this thing works. As soon as it gets above me, I've set it to shut all the sensors off so it doesn't overextend kind of stuff and waste too much power. So it should stay there. Yeah, it won't fly anymore because technically it's reached its goal of hovering above my player to protect me. So if I were to fly away, I've got a sensor that's looking for the player, and if it sees my player within like a 30-meter radius of this drone, then it turns everything off. So it turns all these sensors off. And what these sensors do is that if this sensor is on and I'm away from that 30 meters obviously, and the drone is looking for me, it will turn these sensors on. And what this will do is that if I am right here and that sensor can see me, it will turn this thruster on to push the drone in my direction, but also turn off this thruster to stop it from slowing itself down. So it will force its way towards me. And the same going said with this one, it will turn that on, turn that off. This one here turns that on, turns that off, and so forth, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. It also has these ones up the top here because the autopilot it needs to have a non-overridden thruster to actually have control of it. You also need to have a thruster facing upwards as well, because when it docks down and when it tries to fly down, it doesn't like having to use gravity. It would rather use a thruster to push itself down. Obviously, you need more thrusters pointing up to cancel out the gravity depending where you are. Batteries, guns, all that sorts of stuff, gyro, but other than that, it's just those simple sensors that's looking for me. So if I fly over here, you saw those sensors turn on pretty much at the last second there. F7, F8. As you see, the sensors are on. It's turning it on. And the reason why it like dances like the waltz, the way you see it does, is if I didn't have it do that and it had full access to just fly around as it wants, it would actually just yo-yo right above me just like so. So having it search for the player and not search for the player constantly every 2 or 3 seconds resets these sensors to look for me or not look for me all the time, because sensors will only work when you cross their threshold. So if I'm staying in this sensor and that sensor is told to trigger something and not do something else, it will only do that once until I leave and then come back. Having it look for the player with this timer here, I'll get in. Timer block player reset, this one right here, to reset itself and to start itself every 2 seconds. It just turns off and on all those different kind of detect settings in that sensor. So if I go into the front, it turns off it looking for small ships, large ships, stations, owner, enemy, all that on and off constantly, so I don't have to keep crossing that threshold for this drone to work. So I'll just get rid of this. And I've got another completely vanilla drone, but unfortunately you need the multi-grid projector plugin. And yes, I do have a tutorial on that as well. There's going to be a lot of cards in this video. You've got no idea. Player follow drone. This is also available on the Steam Workshop too. So I'm just going to paste this up here just to make it nice and easy. This does the exact same thing. I'm just going to get it to start, and it should not work. I am not entirely sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to have to be for another day on that design, to be honest. Get that sun back up. I need light. Give me light. Alright, there's the player follow drone for everybody. Pretty sure that is just about everything. We've got the printer head, we've got that, we've got the missile, that, got that one. Oh, the mine collector drone. So now that all those drones and all those things are not out in the world. Oh, it's out of power, that's why. Oh, I'm an idiot. There we go. Now it'll get going, so I can print up this thing. There we go. That's good, that's good, that's good. That's working. Silly me. So let's get into that. Let's turn those welders off so it's not building on the way in. I do need to turn off my creative mode tools, as this drone is... Oh, that's right. Hopefully all of them don't destroy and at least one of them come and work. The welders... As expected, one of them kind of blew up. Because I forgot to put the parachutes and stuff in it. I did it while in it, and I unloaded the save. Oh my god, Nathan, 20, thank you so much. That's literally my first ever dono. I thank you so much. I always appreciate when people are willing to share their knowledge and creations with a little something. Thank you. No problemo. I just wish I could really do this way more often. I love sharing not only my ideas and thoughts, but also my methods in thinking. I have a really weird left-sided brain kind of thing, I guess. And I think of things, kind of different than other people do. I'm not too sure. Oh, I need my survival, my creative mode tools. Alrighty then, we've got the sensor. So, oh, wow, I cannot believe you did that, Nathan. Thank you so much for that. That is absolutely awesome sauce. I need the remote. The row. Yep, the row. That's the one I need. The row. I need it to go. What this needs to do is it needs to go each of those GPSs that we used on that minefield drone, and then we want it to come back to a dock or a drop or wherever it may be. So it will drop those items. So I'm going to drop it there, and then I'm going to go to the dock. So I'm going to set this up. So we want it to go... Got to try and remember. Be really annoying. No, I knew to do that. It's going to be much easier for me to paste it in and start again than having to do all that over again. 2. Just going to jam a reactor on the side of it. Have I got any? No, I don't. Just so it charges it up a little bit. Uranium. Spawn in, just so it has charge. I'll get rid of that reactor, as this is... It has to be very balanced for it to come down nice and flat and even. So... And that's actually... the different design. Oh, wow. I hadn't updated that one. Lucky I did do this. As you notice, the connector on the back of it, it's not there. It's up the top here now. And this already has the chutes in it already. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of them. That's unfortunate. Here we go. Let's get into that remote block. And I'll just set up one of them. So we'll go to there. We'll go to drop. And then we'll go to dock. So it'll just show how everything works. And then timer collect, timer drop, grab mine and stuck. Yeah, there we go. So it was. It was missing something. Collect. Off. Open. Grab mine. Yep. Cool beans. So that's the collect. Now, that's why it was so confusing to me before. Because it was missing one of the timers. And then the drop. There we go. And then the grab mine. That all gets done already. And then the dock. We need it to secure dock start. So, obviously, we'd have all the other stuff. 1A, then drop, then 2A, then drop, then 3A, and blah, blah, blah. And then we'd go... the dock itself. So, each of these drops, you'd have like a printer underneath it. That would be no problemo. So I'll get rid of this, collect that, Shift F5 it, and where's the button? Button, who's got the button? Button. So this should work now. This is the one that's uploaded on the Steam Workshop. That's another one. I can actually upload this to the workshop as well, I guess. Grind, automated grinder pit, publish. Why not? Base, Steam, mod.io. Let's upload that for you. You can all have a bit of fun as is. It's going to take me so long to get the description and all that done. If you look at any of my other designs, I try and put the PCU, what's included in the build, a little bit of a description, some links and stuff like that. In that workshop kind of link, so you're not just looking at no description kind of thing. As you can see, there's nothing there. I need to go in and have a look. I'll get a nicer thumbnail, or I might update it or change it up, but there you go. It's all there for you if you like. It's public, no problemo, and it's on mod.io as well. So if you just want the actual design itself, blueprint, and you want to go offline, you're more than happy to do that. Why is this so hard, internet? Seriously, why is this so hard? It's like my computer's not even making any noise to tell me that it's failing. OBS is telling me nothing. YouTube is telling me nothing. My internet is telling me nothing. Like, everything is green, and then all of a sudden it just stops. Because Australian internet is the best in the world. You know, Africa has better internet than Australia. And they're a third world country, for Christ's sake. How does that work? NBN. Terrible. Rubbish. Oh. This is maddening. It really is. I can't even enjoy, like, a live stream without the internet bugging out every 5-10 minutes. Anyways, rant over. That's actually finally built up. I don't know what showed it, but yeah, we're all going all the way up here, which is actually taller than the other tower already, which is absolute insanity. And it's perfectly timed again. We just caught the grinding of those down. And the reset. And obviously this won't have as much PCU usage than what anything else has. This will be able to go much, much, much further. And lock and continue. And welds up. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's it's just a simple 4 timer block. And the reason why my driller, my tunneler, has those extra 2 timers is just to allow the actual rig itself to grab as many resources as possible as soon as possible. So if you pace this thing far away from anything it will be able to start drilling into, it will use all your resources in your base until it starts actually grabbing on. So the first cycle, it'll just store as much stone as it will in the actual drills themselves. And after about 30 or about a minute or so, it takes about 2.5 minutes for a complete push cycle to go. Within a minute, it'll actually fill this container up, lock it off, and then allow the stone to be pushed into your base kind of thing, just for the fact that it won't fill up all your containers and just contaminate everything in your storage, as this can be easily expanded. Just make sure you have all drills on the outside lines. As you see, I've got conveyor junctions and drills, conveyor junction drill, but on the outside it's only drills. It just allows the tunnel surface or the walls to actually have nice and smooth, so when it wobbles, it doesn't clip onto anything. Just makes it nice and neat. Alright, now that being said, that's all just about done. I'm kind of gonna have to figure out why these are not being nice. So I'm gonna save that there, and I'm gonna go into here, turn off my creative mode tools, and that's what I always do and has always done in this, and figure out why it's being a douchebag. Yeah, see, and then this one works fine. So it works in survival, but it doesn't work in creative. Or it may have been because I reloaded the game, but to me, this works. This is working fine. And then let's go over here. Infinite drill. Yes, I just want to test it out one more time. Just because this thing should be working. This should work. Like, there should be no... Maybe if I lock it, no. It's not going to work. Just lock it to there. Yep, good wobble. That's what we want to see. We like a wobble. Yeah, it is. Double tap the X. Shift F10, turn that off, and then let's start. And then it drops. Yeah. Oop. I will have to work on that in the future. I'll have to do that tomorrow or something, as my son is at school today, but not until Tuesday or so next week. Which is why I can only do these sorts of streams or lives or whatever it is every, say, like Tuesday or Thursday. So it is what it is. Yeah. I'm not too sure why that is not working. I'm going to have to fix that. That is no problemo at all. Let's move on, shall we? I'll show you the mods I have for this one right here. I need my edit settings and then the mods. So the mods I'm going to start off with on this, I may get rid of a couple of them, including, where is it? Okay, no, I don't have it yet. That's exactly perfect. I thought I had Weapon Core on it already from the Northwind Weapons mod as well, but I don't have that at all. This sort of list, I would find, would not have many incompatibilities with a new update, but I will find out sooner or later. Scroll down a little bit more so you've got a few more to look at. All of these I would recommend for any vanilla game player. Like, I know I say vanilla, and I say that in a general sense to increase the playability, the fun, the enemies, the AI player enemies that will spawn. You've got water, you can have boats, you can have marine pirates. There's just so much you can do by adding these sorts of mods that will just increase the quality of life. Planet 26, I was doing a little testing, and I have actually created 3 or 4 different star systems. And this playthrough, you may notice, I'll actually like load it up right now and keep talking about it. I've got 3 or 4 different star systems, and I chose a really close star system so I can visit each individual one of those planets with whatever ship I'm on or whatever it may be. And it doesn't take me like 4 hours using the jump drive even to get from Earth to like alien planet or something like that. Every single planet is no more than about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers away from the starting planet or from each other in retrospect. So the only thing real different other than that is that there's Planet 26, which is like an Earth-like planet. It's got some really nice visuals like palm trees. It really works well with the water mod. And I've also got the Earth's moon circle, like next to that as well. So there's 2 Earth moons. But here we are in the actual just Dronely series itself. Where is my respawn pod? It's here somewhere. Pretty sure it was down here somewhere. Anyways, I've changed up the respawn pod. That's alright. And what I wanted to show you is... Yep. Okay, good. Good. This is my actual plan for this. I could have a massive hangar bay going right through the voxels, like right here of some sort, aligned to like the gravity, etc. Have a massive hangar door, but what I could also have is several stories. Have like a turret outpost or something like that. But what I could also do, and I'm super excited to do for my drones, is have an entry point, so like a hole dug out of the voxels here, that would then meet up into a V going out that way and out that way retrospectively, with just voxels, and like have it armored up just there to have a drone entry and like a drone exit. I think that would be absolutely flippin' awesome. Plus I could have like, I don't know, like a backdoor or backdoor hangar over here for like a specific escape. Have like a tram system going from like a cutout here or something down to the beach, where I would have all my ships, or a shipyard, naval ship, or whatever it may be. The water radius, I currently have, the IUS is 1.025. No, not 1/1.025. Yes. As you see, nothing really changed. That is what the water radius is set. So when you have the water mod, spawn it in first. You'll need to go W create to create it on the world. Just spawn your character on the surface or whatever it may be. And then I found on the vanilla planet Earth, the water's radius set to 1.025 would be the perfect way to do it. It took me a while to figure that out, as it incrementally jumps massively every thousandths. So that 0.025 will be here. 0.023, like 03 or something like that, it'll be like up here or something crazy. So it wouldn't be really quite useful, and I found that is really quite nice. It's not going to cover a lot of stuff. I've got, oh, there's my respawn pod. So I'm just going to spawn my character down here. That's fine. I've had to change out a few things, so I can chuck a drill on the top, on the end of that. Get the conveyors all in the back of that. That's all hooked up. So I've got the cargo. I can change this out and put this on the base, change that out to a cargo container, etc, etc. Yeah, so that seems to be really good, and I'm super excited. Wish there was a mod that had all of the production items that Industrial Overhaul does without the recipe changes, so I can have more production things and still use things like your blueprints. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that one. Industrial overhaul. I know the industrial overhaul mod, and I know they have massive changes to the recipes for the fact that they have massive changes to the ores. Like, they've added so many different ores, like, it's insane. I'm not too sure how they could simplify it without... Oh, there goes my jetpack because I'm in survival. So I have more production things and still use, like, your blueprints. Yeah. Oh, I do know what you mean. And you mean by when you spawn in, you're not able to access all those advanced kind of items that are required for that because of that mod. I think I know what you mean, yeah. Yeah, it's really weird how that is just not having a fun time, this internet. There we go. Hopefully that fixes it up a bit. I've just dropped my bitrate from 9,000 to 5,000. Hopefully that sorts things out, because that is really, really stupidly annoying internet. Like, come on. One job. You had one job. What else have we got here? We got the cliff for that. We've got all the drones. That's right. Talking about that. The Sea and the weapons core mod. All the drones set up. Here we go. We'll just load this up. Should be good. Hopefully the internet shouldn't have any more problems now. Otherwise, I will scream. Alright, so obviously I'm on the other end of this stick for the fact that I needed some distance. I was testing out the Sea with and without a mod. Yes, you may be wondering, how on earth are you going to do that? Well, these guns here, these Gatling turrets, if I just pause and Alt-Tab, have a weapons mod. Sorry, not a weapons mod, a weapons actual file. So if I open this up and I go Control F, that's what I was using for the contracts block. That's what you have to look for. That's the GPS. That's what it comes up as. If I go to Gatling gun, oh, actually, I think it's Gatling gun with one. No, it's not. No? Okay. Fine. You're gonna be annoying. I'll scroll down and search for it myself. Large caliber, large missile, down further, large caliber, medium, small, Gatling gun. Oh, it's with one T, that's why I was gonna say. So what you can actually do with this, and this is actually a completely vanilla. What I need to do is I need to go into here. This is that's just a shortcut for where I am. This is just the hard backup copy. So I'll go into that exact same thing in the games folder itself. So I'm going to scroll on down to that exact same one. And I'm going to have to... I can test that out. Just 1 second. I just want to test this out and get this done. What do we got? Large caliber, medium, small, Gatling guns. So you want to search for this one right here. I'm going to copy that so I don't have to look for that again. And then you've got the Gatling gun warfare. That's the one, obviously, with the warfare DLC. So that's a different skin type and a different block entirely. This is the one I want, as that is the vanilla one. That's right here. That's this one right here. That's that. So if I were to change these right here, right now, it won't do much until I close the game down and open it back up again. So what you can actually do is you can go into the deviate shot angle and go 0. 0 on that. Get rid of the deviate shot angle. Release time after fire. Let's change that to 0. So it doesn't take a billion years to like reload or something like that. And then we need to change the rate of fire to 2000. Let's change that. Let's change the shots in burst to about 1800. Let's change that to about 1000 actually. No problemo. Muzzle life flash span. That is just a visual thing. So don't even worry about that. You don't really need to worry at all. So what you can do is you can just leave that as is. Press Control S. So it saves it. It won't be affected in this whatsoever until I close the game down and open it back up again. So what you need to do for weapons core to work is both grids need to be separated. So I need to unlock from everything so I can actually launch everything. As you can see, the Sea-Whiz is doing its work. Let's turn this off and let's get everything back on. 6. Let's turn those Gatling turrets on. As you can see, they've got some serious range on them because they're... Oh, that's why. That's annoying. I'm looking forward to your season 2 and playing along in my own game. Yes, thank you so much, Nathan. I'm looking forward to it, but hey, I got seriously sidetracked. Like, I got the start of the Dronely survival out. Like, I did the drilling, I changed my respawn pod, as you just saw, and then I got sidetracked and built those infinite designs. Now I am here, and I need to go back. But I was also holding off on starting the season for the fact that I wanted it not to break while going into the new AI. So, oh, hang on, 6. Gatling turrets. I just need to bring these down. Oh, okay, so the weapon core mod increases their range. So 600, please. Interior turrets, they're the same. Okay, cool. So this should work. I need to turn off the Sea-Whiz. Turn that off, and then let's just rocket launch. So they're not actually doing much. Oh, probably because I got the weapon core on, or because I haven't turned it off. On. And then I need to disconnect, and then I need to launch them. So as you see, it is actually working. So it doesn't look like I need to restart it. So if worst comes to worst, I can also turn off the weapon core. But yeah, as you see, that's perfectly fine as is. It works as intended. So if you had to, you could just change the file of these guns you just saw, and they have pretty damn good accuracy. You don't need a mod. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment on that one, actually, as interior turrets are obviously going to be a lot more large Gatling, small Gatling, large interior. Yeah, so the large interior turret, there's only one interior turret, and that's how you know this is the one, for the fact that there is no small block variant of the turret, of that one. So you could just do the exact same thing. As you could see, I'll slide this off to the side, and I'll bring this one that's original. Control F, Control V, find next, so I don't have to scroll. See the original. If I scroll over here, large Gatling turret, Gatling gun warfare. You see the rate of fire? Not the rate of fire, the deviate shot angle and deviate shot angle aiming. The original default was 0.15 and 0.15. You changing that has also made it heaps more accurate. But at the same time, those values of 0.15, if we scroll down a little bit and look at the large interior turret, yes, it actually has more accuracy. But on top of that, if I get rid of this and I open up the ammo thing by scrolling up, same thing, ammos, SBC, you can go down to large caliber, I think it was. Control F, large caliber. Oh, it's right there because I'm blind. You can change the speed for the fact that if, well, obviously, speed of the bullets. Enough said. Speed variants, don't worry about that. You just want it to set at the actual same value you set there. So if you set this value to like 200, it could deviate in the speed by 200 meters per second. Max trajectory, you can obviously tell by that. Brick kick force, I think, has to do with the actual kickback of the bullet itself. And the explosive multiplier and mass damage and all these little values down here give you more damage and more hit for your, like, bang for your buck kind of thing. So you can go ahead and change all those values, but I find that the ammo itself doesn't really quite matter. The gun does. So I can just get rid of this. I'm going to go down the bottom here. I'm going to delete that weapons, I'm going to copy the one I have on my desktop and just paste it right in there. So now it's completely vanilla. There's no changes, no things, no blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to this. Let's reload because I blew up my control seat and setting everything up is a gigantic pain in the butt. Here we go. Loading it on up. So hopefully this should now be less accurate now that those numbers have been changed back to the original default values. In my testing, it's funny that every time I did it, I was closing the game down and opening it. Not that I really needed to be honest. It's just quite funny. 6 to turn those on. I need to go into K. I need to go into GAT turrets and turn that down to 600. Shift F5. I'm going to save that there. Turn them on. And I need to turn that CWIS off. So disconnect, because they need to be 2 separate grids for weapon core to actually shoot or actually react to bullets coming from another grid instead of the same one. It just doesn't work. F8. Let's turn off this CWIS. Off we go. Let's shoot some missiles. Okay, so since there's just so many of them, I guess it's just allowing it. Or it could even be because of weapon core, to be honest. Or it could be just because it's saving the weapons file. Like I was saying before that I had to close the game down for it to actually take effect. That could be the same said here. So you may still have that increased accuracy that we changed instead of the actual vanilla one that was there before. So what else have we got on our list? The SE, yes, I did show you that one. All right, talking about the old survival season. Let's have a look, shall we? It's all sneakily down here. And this one here, I did have a save for every single episode. So I've got about 20 or 30 different save files for this survival season. And I may actually release it to, I may start up a Patreon or like a membership or something like that. And if you like have like a $3 donation or whatever it may be, you'll have access to every single one of those save files. And pretty much everything else that may not be already available. I don't know how I'm going to work it. I've just hit the 1,000 subscribers, so I thank you absolutely deeply so much for actually sticking around, loving the content as much as I love putting it out and sharing and just teaching as much as I possibly can. In the future, I hope to do this with like, I don't know, classes, I guess you could say, like a school, create a world on Earth or something, get like 10 different people to join it or something like that all at once, and then just have like a visual experience that everyone can learn hands-on kind of thing. I think that would be absolutely really quite invaluable. I might as well start it off with a bang and launch everything up. Boop. I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing. It's so cool. All those GPSs are hidden, by the way. Drop. Not too bad, some would say, for a good personal defense. I'll try not to get too far out so I can zoom in as much as I can. Everyone watching. And then I've got this to drop 2 at the end as well. Because this was originally, all the GPSs were originally made for my Mark 1 drone. So there you go, there's both of them right there. And there we go. See, these have quite a lot of power in them too. So if I go into them, the batteries, it's got 6 hours of actual real life power in itself. And then if we go to the inventory, it's got 72 ammo in the connector, plus 3 in the actual turret itself. So these things have some serious ammo and some capabilities. So let's get my jetpack on. And where's that? Oh, there you go. So, and then I've got my player follow drone that I showed you earlier that's following me as well. So I can actually go up to this, and I might do that. And send the drone home because it's drunk. Did I get rid of that button? Oh, no, there it is. Go home, drone, you're drunk. Yes, that makes a noise, and it travels for about 50 meters, just for the fact that you'll know that you've got no protection above your head, and the drone's going back to charge its battery, which is a hell of a lot easier to do now with the event controller instead of figuring out how long it takes for a battery to run out using every single one of its thrusters and set a timer to make sure it triggers and returns back to here after that set time. Yeah, that's what I had to do. Yeah. Good fun. All the patrol drones, that's the one I didn't show before. It just goes from GPS to GPS, and then it will just dock back up. You can have it on a... Oh, perfect timing. They're actually coming in now. And then I'll hit the emergency button, which everyone may like. Hopefully it will work. If not, things will go boom. And there we go. Connected on up. Beautiful. So I've got my welder tower. It's funny, if you're ever building something like this with a lot of welders that are on top of each other, little tip. Build this layer first, and then turn them all on. Make sure you've got access, or they have access to the resources in your base. And then just turn whatever welders you have on. It will then build up. Me, because I'm an idiot, I actually got my welder ship and actually went through and built every single one of them. Accidentally turned them all on with the group that was already saved in a blueprint, and it built the rest of it. And I'm like, well, great. I just built 3/4 of it, and I could have done that the whole time. Yeah. Genius. Absolute genius. And then I've got like different hangar doors I was testing out. That didn't have one. That was that. And then we've got, yay. Got another one. Just wanted different designs to see how they all kind of went. Oh, I need to close that one again, because otherwise this piston won't work. Close. Hopefully these aren't locked to a static grid anymore. Nah, cool. Just another way. I found this way was really quite neat for the fact that it's nice and flat. I could technically, like, build, like, over it, and it would still be fine. Yes, I have creative mode tools on, just for the fact that I don't want to have to go back and get my jetpack all the time. And then, yeah, it just comes back nice and easy. Cool. Go and lock this one up. Boop. Alright, need to go up here, and I'm pretty sure I've got my emergency button up here as well. Rebuild drones, all thrusters, connectors, no. Right, it was down in the... yeah. So, this is actually one of my most complex vanilla builds. It's a solar brain. That's all I can tell you, is it allows to... it pretty much tells or looks to see if the sun is up or down. So it's pretty much a sunlight sensor. And when the sun goes down, you can tell it to do anything on an actual timer block itself. And I've got it to put these down. My phone ringing. To put these down and actually protect them. So I've actually got it on an actual separate button as well. So if I just put the sun down, actually, you'll see it. So this has no more power, so this cannot stop being triggered. So once this gets triggered, it'll come over here and it will say that the sunrise is on. So there you go. And unfortunately, this is the problem I had with Izzy's solar script. Yeah, there goes my phone. Unfortunately, it didn't remember which orientation the rotor was in, kinda. So it was really kind of annoying. Let me just bring that sun back up. So this will get triggered back again. So now this has power. It's able to then send the connection back over. And then it should be sent back up again, just like so. But yeah, that was another one of the few problems I had. The design works perfectly fine in seeing if the sun is up or not, but it uses the Izzy's solar script to obviously point the solar panels at the sun and to also return it into a like flat packed position that like neatly packs into here. Check out the survival series on that one. It's fantastic. Quickly, I'll show you that elevator that wasn't working last time. Here we go. So Spoonie, wish I could set things up like this. I would make a ever-moving futuristic cityscape. Why I stopped playing, actually. Too much is involved, but I still like watching. Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm really enjoying the design and, like, just the build process of stuff. Like, in survival, but with, like, creative mode tools on. But I find, and I'll be quite honest with you, the grind that you have to do on the survival itself, having to, like, weld things up, grind things down if you make a mistake, and all that sorts of stuff is just it's just a gigantic pain in the butt. I've even actually implemented a rule in my Dronely season that if I want to build a new drone, and I really want to build a whole new set of hydrogen drones instead of atmospheric, just so it enables me to like build new stuff and show them like being built in front of you. But at the same time, I want to have like a cordoned off area where I can go hey ho silver in creative mode, and the only thing I can take out of that little area is the blueprint of the new drone itself for me to test, blow up, or do whatever needs to be done kind of thing. So I think it would be really quite fun if I could even do that live as well. That'd be awesome. I was great at gathering and building, just not programming, timing, computer scripting parts. See, I'm really good at the programming, timing, and computer and all that sorts of stuff, but yeah, I'm just not too good at just the grind and like the plan kind of thing. Like the only thing I really planned out here was the 5 holes using my ultimate underground base starter. Yes, it's available. Drill, where is it? Here it is here. And what this does is that this is exactly pretty much the design I used to almost build it. I'll put it down here. Down. And this is, I've got a tutorial out on this as well. Come on, Sharpie, go up. Up. There we go. Up. I need to get out of it. I need to paste it down so it's not locked onto anything. Good. And then what you need to do is I need to drill rig pistons. That'll push all those pistons out. Or not. That's fine, I guess. It's just connected them all. That's perfectly good. That's alright, let's just test it all out. So, we'd press button 1, or is it button 4? Here we go. There we go. Clears all that up with all the nukes. And there you have it. There's all the stone and all you'll ever need just by docking a cargo drone up to this. And yes, I do have another time lapse of that. So that's just pretty much how that one works. Why, isn't it? Is that working? Stop recording. Stop kicking me off the internet thing. This is really pissing me off now. Really pissing me off. Why do you need to record at the same time I'm streaming? You don't need to record. I've told you not to record. Just do it. Just do the stream. Just do the thing that I told you to do, please. Internet. Could you fucking work just once in your goddamn life? It'd be awesome. Is it working now? Oh, it's pissing. It's not Streamlabs. It's my internet. My internet seems to be working fine, and then all of a sudden it just shuts down. NBN Australia internet for you. It just shuts down. Like I'm concentrating on doing this on the live stream, trying to talk about all sorts of stuff, and then I look off to the right at the chat, and all of a sudden, error, 404, lost. Oh, okay. I lost internet. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for making a noise. Thanks for doing something. Like, what? Yeah. No, it's moving. You can still hear me in that as well, but... Oh, man, can't it ever go right? Like, I tried my phone's internet last stream, and that just failed within the first 30 minutes. But it's literally doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. So I'm gonna have to call my internet guy out and tell him to fix this crap, because it's not me and it's not my computers. Oh, actually, for those wanting to actually have it, I will upload this. Actually, hang on. F for Control B. Welder drone. Let's get a nicer photo. Take a screenshot. There we go. And then I'll upload this for everyone if you'd like as well. Publish. Yes. Ship, Steam, what I owe. Why not? While I'm there. That's the one I was actually looking for earlier, so. Hopefully you saw the actual launch of that ultimate base starter. Be really annoying if you didn't. So there we go. That's all uploaded now. You're more than happy to go after that one. There we go. There we go. We've got, yep, these two here. Which one was the one that was done? Because this is remote collector. So the way you can tell which grid you're looking at is you can see all the different colors. The white. This white one is the one you're looking at in control of now. So that's the one I need. So it needs to go to 5A, 5B, 5C. Oh, cool. So this is all set up. I can actually press this button here and actually have a working drone and wait a little bit for it to clear out of the way. And then press that button there. So what these should do is that it's going to clear all of these mines as much as possible. Bring them on over here, and it's going to dump them here. This sensor right here is going to count out 4 of the mines itself, and then trigger everything up. I think it was 4. It might have been more. Let me just have a look. 2, 4, 6. No, 6. 6 of them, okay? So it's going to trigger after 6 of them, after 6 drones that come in here. Once that does, it's going to drop the floor, print everything up, also grind everything up. Here we go. Connects on up as it is supposed to when it is all set up correctly. Drones are a pain in the butt, but hey, they are what they are. So that's collected it, that's collected it. The collision avoidance are all on, and they don't get turned off until they get to a GPS that's above the printer. PRI. No? Oh no, it's not printer, it's the grinder. Yeah, grinder pit. Yeah, we've got the high, the approach, and then the drop. So it's going to up the top there. Hopefully they won't fight. That's why I need to... Oh, good. Good. Come down here. It's going to count it out. And drop. Sometime today before the next one comes. That's alright. Did a little bit of damage, but that's perfectly fine. Uh-oh. Oh, yep. Oh, good. Yeah, good. I almost forgot I had to, like, space it out a bit. Oh, there goes another bit, but that's fine. If I come down here, the ammo should still be there. And that's perfect that that ammo is there, because I'll be able to show you. Here we go. So we're going to collect on to the next one. Looks like this one will get there first, actually. It'll be interesting to see if it's able to collect both of those at the same time. So... as you see, it has to be really level as it comes down. Otherwise, it'll, like, float off to the side and not come down straight and miss it. There we go. Got another sensor that as soon as the sensor sees that there's a small grid under it, it's gonna start or trigger another timer for it to turn the autopilot back on again. And hopefully do what it's doing now. Nope. Nope. Oh, okay. Yeah, righto. Anyways, it is what it is. I don't know what happened there. It's just glitching on me. But this one picked it up fine. And it's a hell of a lot better than you going out and grinding them all down yourself. You can just get it all done, get it all over, get them all in. And then obviously I've got my printer set up down here. And missile storage. Yes, it's very large. Very, very, very large. And then we've got my battery storage. Just some empty storage. That's the Izzy's solar script. I was talking about the... these. Did you see this thing here exploding? And actually, like, triggering? Get rid of that. So, we've got... Oh, right. So, how do I explain this? So, right in here, it's not just an empty base. It's actually a vanilla sorting system. And it actually incorporates the ore scrap mod as well. And what it allows it to do is, I might actually go F8, F10. Vanilla floor elevator. No, I don't. Okay, apparently I don't. Thought I did, but I don't. Yeah, it's just a vanilla sorting system, and the way it works is actually really quite complex. And to stop things from like recirculating around, I had to get a connector here into each of these 4 cargo containers that are specifically, like this one, for example, is cobalt and gold. So only cobalt and gold, like ore or ingots, are allowed to go into this to then be processed and then put back into that to then be sorted out into these assemblers right here. Yeah, it's quite a complex build. If you want more info, make sure you go and check out that survival season. It's got a lot of info, and I use every single drone and explain heaps more about every single one of them. Oh, cool. It lagged slightly, but we saw it. Okay, cool. Hopefully when I download all of these different live streams later on, I'll be able to put them all together, get rid of all the crap out of it, and just upload it as an edited, somewhat live stream. If that makes sense. Oh, yay. Oh, it was able to collect both of them, and it actually... That's funny. I'm gonna go and shut it down. Floor. There it is. Going down. And then I'll get this. So we can get a nice good view of everything coming down. Go right about there. Turn the light on. The sensor did not turn on. Why? Ah, because I turned it off. Too many buttons. Here we go. So obviously I was saying before that it won't push any further than what it needs to. See, it stops there, keeps going, stops there, so it doesn't like squish any items. And then all that ammo, all that juicy ammo, watch this. Oh, grinding a bit more. When there's nothing there. That should then reverse back, but it's not. It's being a dick. Here we go. And just pull it back to do it all. And the whole reason why I built this is that so it doesn't have anything left over to cause lag on your game. So as you see, everything's gone. It's all pushing back. It's all going nice. F6, and then the floor. Cool beans. This was one of the ones that was non-automated just yet, so that's why that's like that. And then this thing is figuring itself out. That's fine. But that's everything done. So we've got that all done. What else can I show on here? That was just about it, to be honest, on that bit. So that's all that. And that's how I actually built everything. And then I got the underground. Ah, here it is. Underground drill platform. And then as soon as those got built out, I placed this in. Oh, open, close, solar array. Righto. What do we got? 5? Yeah. So yeah, they just go on. And obviously I was sitting in the chair itself, holding the right click button, which I eventually just leant my phone against, just hold the right click button the whole time. And that's how I got this to work, and how I got all of those to like get hollowed out like these. That's how I got all of this area done. All in that same thing. I've got... Did I have it on this side? No, I had it on the other side. I've got a really easy... Because this was my drone storage, or was going to be my drone storage. As you can see, there's all the connectors. I've got some lights. Excuse me. All that good jazz. Yeah, the follow drone. Yeah. One of my favorite designs, and it is really quite useful. Defensive drone. You can have it following your player. Have it follow you with resources, however you may want. It's just really quite handy. I just gotta remember which one I had on this. Cargo drone remote, no. Cargo drone remote control, rebuild, here we go. So is this the one? Hub out fully, it is. So if I go ahead and get this recharge one, that's the one. I get it to trigger now. I'm going to lock to this and we're going to find out what it's going to do. So what it's going to do, it's going to fly out here. Move out of the way of the voxels. It flies up. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I have set up on that drilling platform over there. I think. I might be wrong. Can't remember. But we'll find out. And then, unless it's just going in a circle. This one might be the one that's going in the circle. No, that's good. So while that does that, I'm going to go back down here, because that's going to go lock itself to that drone or that one down the bottom. Let's trigger this up. Oh, where is it? Other side. Recharge timer. Trigger now. Recharge timer. Oh, no, come here. Trigger now. Ah, batteries. Whoa! There we go. Okay. See what I mean? How that having that group for the thrusters can cause many a problems if the thing connects and sends the what's the name too early or whatever. Are these all got the same ones? I guess so. Unless this one has got... Ah, okay, yep, this one goes to my old base. That's alright, by the time we finish with this, we can go on over here. Oh, Drone King, thank you so much. I do love my drones. Automation and drones, I think it's just my inner laziness, to be honest. So this is the one that allows it to How do I explain it? Because the timer's already started. Here I am. Recharge. That's right, it's hidden. The load timer, the rebuild. See on this one here. So this one goes for 2 minutes to allow the transfer of resources. If I go into the inventory, this won't have anything actually, to be honest. I don't think it will. Yeah, there it is. So it has taken some out of it that was in there, and I'm going to trigger that so it continues on. I'm going to follow it. While I'm following it, I'm going to go find out where that other drone went to. Here it is. And hopefully none of these drones actually run out of power, because that would be really terrible. Oh, that's right. It's for the other one that I was going to use to gather ice, as I had the daily needs mod that requires like food and food and water and energy and stamina and all that sorts of good jazz. I brought that one from there to here to try and gather up all those, so it's really quite nice. And yes, this design is available to download on the Steam Workshop. It is not this specific one, as this was the Mark 1. Mark 2 has thrusters and a lot more other stuff for its own mobility, instead of having to have a cargo drone come and connect to this and actually lift it up and move it as needed. So, okay, so this one was for this old base. So there was 2 or 3 different bases I actually started off with, and the first one we did because we had to create large steel tubes, because the basic assembler doesn't have that ability, and I needed that to build wheels. So I had to do like a small base, put everything back into my rover, and then like come over here, and this is where I built everything up from there. From here, I got my old like unknown signal remote. This drone, the green and gold one, get it right eventually, Sharpie. I've got my old printer piston, or my old printer for the drones. It's just a really simple design. Couple conveyors up, that over, some welders, and then just this. So I've used this one here instead of the stick for the fact that this allows to transfer power, where the stick does not. As you saw, I had I've got the projector on it and a nuclear reactor just for the battery itself, so I'll just get rid of that. I did create some more room. This is where I built one of the auto drilling rigs, I'd call it, and I really didn't need resources after that. So let's come on over here and let's trigger this thing up. So it then goes back. And as you see, that drone actually locked up nice and neat. We'll watch the same thing on the next one. As I'm checking my notes, there's not too much more I've got. The contracts block I was going to show. I'll probably skip that, as I did talk about that quite earlier. I've shown you the automatons beta already, and I haven't got the brain about me to actually create some more missiles or test some more things, as I've already done quite a lot on it already. F8. What I can actually do to speed this up is Control X that, come on over here, Control V, and then just paste it there. So now it's still going to continue on because it was in between the GPS from over there to the GPS over here, and it will just continue on its merry way as if nothing happened. So just speed it up for you without having to fart ass around. It'll go through the welder towers, or the tower of welders, just so it is able to repair itself. And oh, that reminds me, and actually repair those too. Oh, I don't think I can, because they're the new drones. But yeah, it just comes on down. Goes over here. From GPS to GPS, it actually goes up and over, as you saw that just there. So that's why they have to be so low. And then from GPS to GPS, it still goes up and over. Really weird how this game works sometimes. Another one, and then straight down. And look, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So what I also do have is I've got, I don't think I've actually even set them up, to be honest. Remote, mine, control, rebuild. Do they have? No, they don't. Okay. So what I could also do is that because all of these have no drones or the mines on them whatsoever, I wanted to try and figure out an automated way to rebuild them all, but I never actually changed it. I changed my Minefield Drone 1 to Minefield Drone 2, what you see now, without actually widening this. So the Minefield Drone, the second version, is too fat and won't fit down here, but the Minefield Drone 1 will. Minefield Drone Mark 1. As you see, this one will actually fit down quite nicely. It has lots of room on all sides, where if I get rid of this and get the Minefield Drone 2, it's not so nice. It like somewhat clips it. Like somewhat clips it for sure. Definitely clips it. Definitely clips it. It's just too big. So that just doesn't work that way. I needed to extend them, but at the same time, I'd also need to like remove these blocks here, redo the doors, open it wider, delete the welder tower, rebuild it all over again, fix all that, and you get my general idea. But the way I had it working is that I had a second remote block on all these drones to enable them to have two separate paths. One for the activation to actually put them out in the world itself, and another one to follow another set of GPS instructions to fly over through the welder tower, out through this hole here, and then connect themselves back on up to the actual tower itself. I've already set them up and I did show you in the survival itself, so yeah, it's right there and then that you can go and check out yourselves. Hopefully everything is going still all right. Yeah, we're going all right. Just have to jump off here. Thanks so much for putting the stream together. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Nathan. That's also my son's name, funny enough. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for that dono. My first ever dono ever on YouTube, so I really do thank you for that. You're an absolute legend. Just watched out for the local Navi natives. They won't like all this drilling and unobtainium. Yeah, I know, for sure thing. The Navi are not going to like it, and neither is your game, for the fact that the more voxels... Oh. Uh-oh. I'm getting attacked. Okay, come on. Bring it. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Come on. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, you're gonna go after something stupid, aren't you? Yeah, you're gonna go after that. Go away. Come after me. Oh, no, don't go after that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna paste this. Alt F10, keep original ownership on paste. Yeah, it can do some serious damage. And it's done. It has a lot of damage, and it has a lot of potential, but at the same time, that is a lot of grids that are out in the world just chilling. And this is why I also have that emergency button to put these things away. Oh, wrong side. Where am I going, Sharpie? Oh, this side. No. So I can actually like press this button here and it's supposed to like pack everything up. But as I said before, Izzy's solar script ain't the best thing to work. And yeah, it is what it is. So I'll just exit out of this. That does a lot of damage. Alright, I actually might end it right here for the fact that I need to go pick up my son from school in about half an hour, so I need to go do that. Thank you everyone so much for joining me, and I do apologize for the stream quality. It is what it is, and Australia is what it really can get. Really annoying. I will try and increase and improve on what you've seen today, so the next one won't hopefully be so buffery and choppy. I'll also re-edit this, so those of you in the future, you're probably watching the edited version. Make sure you hit that like and comment and try and keep this channel sustainable, self-sustainable, just like the designs I share to you. Stay sharp as always. Thank you so much once again, and see ya!